Welcome back to this week's episode of Goats of Wrath campaign. Last time out, having been standing in the ruins of the Embermore encampment, you ransacked the place for anything useful, stitched up your wounds, and gave vent a funeral of sorts with the full intent to resurrect him at some point. Journeyed back to Karak Grungron largely uneventfully. And asked Holdscald Break-In to petition the Thane for an audience, hoping that having killed Pruther would stand you in decent enough stead with the Thane to get that request in. Sorry. During that time, or shortly around that time, Balthazar got a lovely vision from a certain eldritch being who wants him to do some work for him. But after waiting for most of the day, Break-In found you in the Stone Apple Tavern and told you your request had been approved and you would be meeting with the Thane at dusk. You had a brief run-through of Dwarven etiquette on how to properly address the Thane and be attired correctly. An intense meeting was handled quite expertly by both Thrungi and Rambear, with some excellently and somewhat lucky dice rolls, with some natural 20s thrown in. You requested an opportunity to further gain the Thane's trust and respect, and offered to willingly potentially sacrifice your lives in clearing out the tunnels of the Undercity to gain access to the Findal Forge, since your true request required the Findal Forge itself. With the blessing of the Rune Priest, Thane Harlson agreed to your offer, while making it clear that none of you were to trespass upon the Findal Forge itself. That would be for him and the Rune Priests to reclaim. Following that meeting, on your way out, Thrungi asked for a detour and visited his old family home, wherein he found a couple of hidden away trinkets that served as a reminder to the life that he had lost. Rune Priest Hasnir then caught up with you, having left the inner city, and informed you as much as she could about the Undercity, about the nature of the Findal Forge, the threat down there, and what you might need to expect, and laid out her plan to end the problem once and for all with a binding ritual of sorts. She offered a member of her clergy to join you, which you accepted, hoping that they could focus on the task of sealing the elemental energy while you dealt with everything else. And then you went to bed, preparing to enter the dungeon once again. So, is there anything anyone would have liked to have done overnight before going to bed, or anything of the sort? Very well. If not, we begin as you awake to a misty dawn, wisps of fog kind of clinging to the streets, and there's a chill dampness in the air that's even seeped through to the building itself. What would any of you like to do?
You gonna have some breakfast before we go?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan is. Are we meeting
Oh yeah. Good time.
someone?
Yes, so you were to meet the Rune Priest Hasnir
Rune Priest.
at the gates to the inner city sometime around dawn. Early morning, anyway.
Okay. Quick breakfast, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You head downstairs, ask for breakfast. A decent array is actually put on for you by the bartender. It seems Break-In has not been sly with the story you've told him, and word has got around as to the act of heroism and favour you've done to the city already. So there is salted pork and bacon, some very nice cheeses, and a decent round of dwarven ale presented to all of you who wish to take it as well.
That's like a good breakfast.
More of an ale, you say? That sounds good.
Delicioso.
While you are eating breakfast, Umnir, the guild contact, with his dour demeanour, shall we say, does turn up. Doesn't wait for you to signal for him to sit down, just pulls up a chair, pulls up at the table and grabs a piece of bacon off the central plate in the middle. I hear you're being fools and going into the Undercity.
That's one way to put it.
Yes.
One bout of heroics ain't enough for you.
No, we like to collect them.
We're consistent heroes.
I suppose I can respect that. Do you need any messages sent back to the guild about your actions, or happy that you may die and they'll never know? I mean, many people do that. I've had many just disappear into the steppes, so I'm not fussed, but...
It's fine. They know we're here on our own business, so...
Alright. Anything I can do to help? I mean...
Are you prepared to be going?
Oh,
No.
hell no. No, I'm not going in. I value my life. I have a decent coin. I live in a tavern. I'm not going in to a place where many dwarves have already died, to be honest.
It's fair. We have another coming with us. It's fine.
Well, he's a
Asking just in case. you know.
mad dwarf with a death wish, apparently. Hey, it makes two of you. Well, if you don't need me, I'll go back to my spot. Grabs another piece of bacon and then just like sidles off.
You're all kitted up on health potions and stuff, aren't we?
Eh,
Let me check.
we could probably have more, but also, I mean, it's more fun if we could die, right?
I don't know.
Got 5 on me of varying sizes.
Oh, I only have 2. That's interesting.
I've only got 2 as well.
To be fair, Balthazar is your paramedic.
Yeah. I think a while ago you guys used some and I didn't. This is why.
Yeah, probably.
He's a,
Has Thrungi got any? Does he need any?
Thungi doesn't have any. Oh no, he has 2.
Okay.
3.
4.
No, for some reason I've got 2 sets, one with 2 in it and one with 3 in it.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So let's fix that.
Also, don't forget all of you to hit a long rest, just in case you haven't. Don't when you're going in.
I have not. Thank you for reminding me.
Just in case there's any abilities that you need to reset.
The longest rest.
A lot of stuff that fixes itself.
That's not generation, right?
I think I'm good to go.
Hey, Geth, just so you know, for whatever reason, Blood Gorger isn't generating the right plus to hit or damage. Out of the mark.
Have you attuned it?
Yep.
I'll take a look.
It's not giving me the +2. Same with the Giant Craft Ambusher, actually. It's only giving me +10.
Well, Giant Crowd Ambusher is because you're not attuned to it. Well, it didn't require. Yeah, because you aren't attuned to it, so it won't give you the bonus for it now.
Well, that's fine, yeah, but Blood Gorge wasn't giving me the bonus.
I'm taking a look, don't worry. Should be. Magic bonus is on it.
I'll add it manually because it should be +12, not +10.
Yeah, I agree. You can customize its personal one of a +2 to hit and damage and whatever. Don't know. Might need to discard it and re-add it. Or something to that effect.
I'll just manually do it for now.
Anything else anyone wants to do in the morning before they head over?
Is that little dwarven teen back with my my bits and bobs to resurrect Vent?
He's not turned up, but he may do. He may just leave the package there. You basically just told him you were staying at the Stone Apple. He hasn't turned up yet.
That's fair. I will warn. Oh, what's his name? Like Derek, whoever's at the bar. I'll just give him a little bit of warning, just like if a young dwarf comes by with a package of things, I've forgotten precisely what. You can just give him a gold piece. And I'll pick him a gold piece to give to the kid. And if he doesn't come by, you can give him a clip around the ear.
Yeah, sure. Which kid exactly? There's not just one.
But well,
I'm sure I'll recognise him if he comes in. It's just
Little-
it's the more tapping him on the head thing that it's going to be hard if I don't know who it is.
you know what? Just to be safe, maybe hit everyone you see around the head of teenage.
I won't be doing that, but okay. If there's a package for you, I'll just put it under the bar. Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
didn't get the kid's name,
We'll
did
see
we?
you soon. No, it's one of the teenagers who was like having their weird rap battle / poetry slam. I think. But that could be any of the dwarves over here. They seem to be really into that. He had a distinctive voice, probably.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Set up. Breakfast undertaken. You begin to walk through the city, gear on shoulder, and a number of people are out at this point for whatever business they're on, and a few kind of don't stop you in the streets, but kind of just kind of give you a nod of respect for the actions that you've undertaken, which is a bit of a oddity to you all, considering your usual the usual response you get from dwarves when you have Thrungi around, especially. There's a level of confusion on some of their faces, but at least kind of actually respect what's happened and admire, especially Thrungi, for his course of action. If Balthazar, with your passive insight, it is a case of, while in general dwarves don't feel comfortable around Oathsworn, this is what Oathsworn are there for. They are there to undertake suicidal missions and pull off unlikely things in the name of dwarvish kind. So, at least to these dwarves, Thrungi has at least earned respect and gratitude.
Cool.
but you begin to make your way up the stone-cut pathway towards the entrance to the inner city, and you find amongst all of the about a dozen or so guards that stand on the outside of the gates, you spot two dwarves of particular note, both wearing grey robes trimmed with kind of bold red. One of them is Thane, the head rune priest that you know of. The other one is a youngish looking dwarf, probably 2 or 3 decades younger than Thrungi. Black beard with a few kind of like ginger streaks in it, and adorned throughout that beard are numerous kind of religious looking trinkets, anvils here, bearded dwarf marks here, gemstones of varying different kinds, and like in his right hand, he's like leaning on it slightly, is a thick kind of metal rod, like a quarterstaff but made out of solid metal, which has little dwarvish runes inscribed on it. As you approach, Tasnir looks up and goes, "Ah, yes. Glad you could commit to your promise, shall we say? How are we feeling? Is there anything you need to go over beforehand, or?"
I don't think so.
Did we ask for a map? I can't remember. I think we asked for them to
Yes.
see if they could get a map together.
I found a little. I don't have a full record of the Undercity. It does seem like during the original fall, a lot of the maps and pathways leading to the Findal Forge were deliberately destroyed, removed, damaged in various ways. I do have a little of kind of the opening section. The main gateway leading to the Undercity heads into a crossroad of some sorts, which leads to which has 3 additional turnings off it. She does hand you this kind of rough map, essentially. It's very much that she's kind of sketched this out based on text rather than it being a prettily written map.
And is that map something we can see as players?
I will sketch something for you.
Sorry.
I do have a sketch for me, but it is incredibly rough.
Oh, well, true to form, it can be rough for us too.
And it's not, and she just continues with, I'm not certain as to the exact directions as to which tunnel leads where, but from this, what seems to be regularly referred to as a dividing room, I assume dividing pathways, there is a path leading to the forges themselves, both the communal large space and the Findal Forge. One pathway leads towards the tombs, the catacombs. Probably not worth venturing there for you, but if you feel like checking that they are at least in good shape and haven't been overly damaged, that would be helpful, but not necessarily your primary concern, I'm sure. And there's another path which leads towards the mines. Those would be the 3 pathways leading from that route. Beyond that point, I don't really have any more information as to where those then extend to, whether they rejoin in any way. I'm afraid there's not much more help than that, but at least it is a start for you. And before, sorry, I must introduce you. This is Rune Priest Carson, Hordmir, to his fellows. He is a bold dwarf and should do us Rune Priests proud with you. He is by no means as experienced as you 4, so please do bear that in mind, but I'm sure he will be of some aid to you with whatever you face down there.
Thank you very much.
Aye, been looking forward to getting a bit of glory in the name of the ancestors. So, we heading in soon, or do I have to wait around a bit longer?
I think we're all keen.
Already? Yeah.
Aye.
Good. Right, slight out-of-game question for you. If there is a stat block for him, group decision, does one person want to control him? He is cleric-like. Or does the group want to control him? Or do you want me to control him? Entirely up to you. I can provide you with the stat
Can you
block.
send a stat block over?
Yeah, you can have
we,
the stat block.
We have a decision based on that.
I will grab you it now. There you go, it's in the game chat. He is squishy.
Oh, he is.
Squishy.
Oh dang.
Very squishy. Bless.
What level is he?
Hand wave.
Yeah, okay.
You can tell he's at least
I'm
5th
not-
level because he has 3rd level spells.
Yeah, exactly. Ba-ba. This just gave me the realization that I will almost certainly be summoning creatures and I have to look after their stat blocks. So I will stay out of this, I think. On top of my summoned creatures and or fae, maybe a bit too much for me.
I reckon you should play him, Gethin.
Okay. I will
Yeah,
take control of him.
I'm happy with you saying.
Aha!
It's fine by me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you guys the option in case you actually wanted to. Because he is a mini healing battery as well. So you may have wanted that. That was all. Well, in that case, it seems introductions are going well. Shall we go forth? No need to dilly-dally. A couple of the soldiers kind of flank on with you as you get marched into the inner city. And where previously you were walked essentially straight down the main boulevard towards the back of the hall or cave, which led to the royal area. This time, you're very quickly diverted left as you enter, and begin kind of walking down step work that leads away from kind of the main housing area towards a ramp structure that is still very well carved, perfectly kind of angular lines, and wide open thoroughfares that would clearly allow 2 or 3 wagons to pass side by side, hauling various components. Thrungi, you know this is obviously where not only ore from the mines gets pulled up, but anything forged used to come up from here, because that kind of stuff was kept in the Undercity, essentially. How they're producing enough metalwork for a stand that compared to previously currently is a wonder to you, because they don't have the Undercity, essentially. Eventually, after a short walk, you come to what is a smooth stone wall. The road essentially just ends at a rock face. There is a kind of carved angular door frame that is flush with the wall, but where you would expect there to be an opening underneath it is just smooth rock, except for a number of kind of bands of iron that stretch across the door frame, all of them kind of with dwarven runes etched into them, each of them in sequence, kind of gently pulsing with contained magic, varying different colours, some yellows, oranges, deep blues. Anyone can make an arcana. Anyone can make a religion or arcana check. Thrungi can as well. Yeah. Because it is dwarvish.
Religion or arcana?
Religious or arcana if you're proficient. If you're not proficient, can't, but Thrungi can because they're dwarvish runes, so has a little bit of knowledge.
13. Great.
21 on religion.
21 on religion?
Nope.
Not your wheelhouse. Not runic magic wasn't for you. You just made use of it. Rambear?
Just a 9 on religion.
No. Balthazar, do you speak dwarvish?
No, don't think so.
No.
Nope.
You can identify them as magical runes of some kind. There's mostly abjurative. They are binding runes designed to keep something in. Your innate kind of feel for water, especially, and therefore elemental. There's a lot of kind of elemental binding to this. It's designed to keep elementals from crossing this threshold more than anything else.
Okay.
Very, very specific design behind them, essentially.
Yeah. All
right. 2 more rune priests are waiting for you here, dressed in the same grey and red robes. You notice that none of them are any more fancy than any of the others. Like, even though you know Tasnia herself is the high rune priest for the city, every robe is the same. It doesn't appear to be like a station thing, as people know who's in charge. Tasnia turns to you all. This is gonna take a moment. We need to undo the bindings and open a hole for you. One final check from me. You are certain to set on this path? Yes?
Aye.
Okay. In that instance, I think you should be made fully aware that we will not be keeping the gateway open for you. As soon as you step across the threshold, it will be shut behind you. If you are as good as some of us hope you are, and complete whatever needs completing, you will need to get a message to us somehow, to let us know that we can open the way and let you out and come in ourselves. How you seek to do that is beyond me, but just be aware of that. And good luck, and may the ancestors watch over you. As you kind of like signal, like gestures you towards the rock face, and she takes a few steps back. 2 other rune priests kind of flank, and they begin moving their hands, their staves, speaking in almost melodious dwarvish as you can tell they're casting spells, and slowly you watch each of the iron bands flare up for a second and then shift against the rock in that horrible kind of metal on rock sound as it grates across. It stays bound to the rock but away from the rock face. And then another one, and then a third, and then a fourth, and they're slowly all moving back. And as they do, the other 2 rune priests you watch begin gesturing as a move earth-like spell begins to carve a small oval opening in the rock. It is darkness beyond. There is no torchlight entering, but it is opening wide enough to let you through. Tasnia is there, focusing, a bit of sweat coming across her brow. She goes, "Move quickly. Go now."
I'll touch my amulet around my neck, cast light on it, and then just head in.
Balthazar heads in first.
I will follow Balthazar since he has the light, because I need it.
Close behind. At that point, Hordmere bolts in, kind of wanting to stay near the middle, just in case.
That's fair. We know how many hit points he has. He should probably do that.
Last two.
Thrungi, would you rather go
Oh, I already said
at the
that
rear?
first before
Oh, sorry, I must have missed that.
Balthazar.
Then I'm taking up the rear. Bear style.
Bear style. You all step through into the Undercity. And as Rambear kind of crosses the threshold and like bumps slightly into Hordmere, who's kind of stopped, the light from behind you just kind of slowly fades away, and you are left with just the relatively small circle of light from Balthazar near the front, just casting over Thrungi's shoulder, which does kind of quite work considering Balthazar's about 2.5 foot taller than him. Does kind of go over his head quite nicely. You come into a square passage, maybe 10, 15 feet wide, fairly broad passageway, and it gently slopes downwards. And as soon as the rock wall shuts behind you, there is a wave of heat that just kind of emanates up from the bottom, and you instantly all start feeling it, like the air in your lungs is hot, and seems to catch at points. It's like it's almost like none of you have ever experienced this, but if you could imagine walking into a volcano, like the very out bits of it, that's kind of what you're feeling here. There is a palpable heat and earth nature to everything, dust and hot air kind of moving around. Can everyone make a Constitution saving throw, please? And I'll make it for Hordmere.
If you're near me at the...
Everyone is everyone would be within 10 feet of Nyah at this point, which helps Hordmere. What's your bonus, Nyah?
It is +3.
+3. Cool.
So it was a con save, right?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Thrungi.
It was low. It is a +3 as well, yeah?
Yeah, you're all close enough to Nyah.
22.
Because you're kind of two abreast as you've moved in as well a little bit.
That's low.
He does
I
get
rolled it.
does get a lot of pluses. Balthazar.
16.
16. Nyah.
18.
18. Hordmere got a total of 12, which is just enough to succeed. And Rambear.
Well, this is why I'm angry at Thrungi. Thrungi rolled low. Rambear rolled... Well, in total it's a 7.
A 7.
That's with a +3 to my con mod and a +3 from Nyah.
That one. Rambear. Ash begins to kind of just like stick in your throat a little bit, and you start developing a bit of a cough that is probably going to stick with you for a little bit. That's all for now.
Oh no. For now?
But yes, what would you like to do? You're at the top of this slowly descending ramp. It continues beyond Rambear's light, not Rambear's, Balthazar's light.
Thrungi, sort of lead the way. You know Dwarven holds better than the rest of us. I know you haven't been down here, but...
Thrungi, you would have been down here occasionally, especially given your wife's profession.
You did say often.
Yeah. But yeah, it didn't necessarily wasn't your daily routine, shall we say.
He'll head off, trying to follow the map roughly.
This passageway doesn't last for too long, but there's a palpable element of not quite silence, but you are aware that you are going deeper underground with no real circulation of air. There's a claustrophobic feeling to many of you. Being of dwarvish kind, Thrungi is probably handling it a little better, but to Nyah, who's used to roaming on horses in the under the open sky, Rambear, who's used to woodlands and the like, and even Balthazar, who's used to a desert, this is uncomfortable, shall we say. But after a short while, Thrungi, decent perception. After a short while, just coming out of the gloom of your dark vision, you spot a couple of forms of some kind, large humanoid-like figures, kind of slumped against the walls, just coming up into the distance. They don't appear to have noticed you. What do you want to do?
Ooh, excuse me. Can I make them out any clearer?
Roll a perception check. Are you still working off dark vision, or are you allowing Balthazar's light to get closer?
I'm running off dark vision if the light isn't reaching it, but as we slowly get closer,
Okay.
like I'm not stopping us, but I'm trying to see.
Okay, in this case, roll with disadvantage then, because it is technically using dark vision. It is dim light.
Perception, yeah?
17. You look at them, and they're definitely bigger than a dwarf, but their physique is dwarvish.
Do they remind me of the old golems we met in the other hold?
Exactly. They look like stone golems designed to be dwarvish in design. As you continue, with a little bit of tension out at that point, knowing that you're a dwarf and these are dwarvish, you come up a little closer, and eventually they're caught by the dim light of Balthazar's of reach, meaning they become fairly visible to you. They're broken. They are slumped, damaged. One of them, like, parts of limbs have come off. And, like, for stone golems that these are, they bear melted portions of their body. Like, full-on extreme heat has melted their rock. And they are...
Maybe Bent was here.
I doubt it. I don't suspect they'd be in pieces if it was only him. But I suggest we be on our guard.
You're walking for a short while longer, where...
Can I... How loud are we being? Gang. We want to be a little bit quieter. Now we've seen something's destroying things.
Possibly, but didn't we come to, like...
We need to
kill
kill
stuff anyway?
whatever's in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like having surprise on our side would be useful for a little bit. Maybe.
True.
I was gonna just pass without trace.
That lasts for a while anyway, doesn't it?
It's an hour.
Yeah, it's long enough, I'd say.
Hopefully.
So you casting Pass Without Trace?
Yeah.
And if you're going to be stealthy, everyone can roll me stealth checks. Thrungi.
24.
24. Balthazar.
16.
16. Rambear.
24.
24. Nyah.
16.
16. And 27 for Hordmere. I think. Hold on. He may be at disadvantage.
It's in chainmail, yes.
Nope, he's in chain shirt. He's fine. The sound deadening of Pass Without Trace hits you, and it doesn't exactly help the feeling of claustrophobia. But you are confident that you are travelling very quietly. Eventually you come to what looks like the end of this sloping path. Thrungi, you can make out just on the edge of the light, like your dark vision extending beyond it, the kind of a door frame leading to another room. Roll me perception.
With or without?
Straight perception.
A natural 20 for 26.
You kind of...
The dice did slip out my hand, but it rolled, so...
You kind of hold everyone up for a second, seeing this. And you kind of just peer down further. You can hear some odd noise coming from down there. There's bits of where it sounds like rock on rock, like some rock like tumbling down and hitting the floor. Bits where you think you hear kind of a crackling fire, and every so often like wind passing through rock tunnels. There appears to be some light in the room, but it seems to be moving and not quite discernible.
I suggest we be on our guard. Be surprised if something's about to happen.
Okay.
Does that mean we should prepare anything?
I don't have anything to prepare, but I don't know for certain something's up ahead.
Yeah. Something's up ahead somewhere. There always is.
Maybe prepare something you don't mind if you lose.
I guess
I'll wait. I think
we
for
can
now.
prepare cantrips, can't we?
Yeah.
I might as well just, from now on, just continually keep preparing Ray of Frost until...
You're just going to hold a ray of frost, kind of.
Yeah. Just until a creature appears.
Fair enough.
I want to keep Pass Without Trace up, so I don't do any cantrips. Cool.
Correct. If you were to hold a spell, Pass Without Trace would drop. I think.
I think so. Well, I think it depends on the spell, right?
Fairly sure it's concentrations. Pass Without Trace, isn't it? Yeah.
Pass Without
Is
Trace
it-
is
is it-
concentration.
No. So
Concentration to hold an action?
it is. It is concentration to hold a spell.
Didn't know that.
Interesting.
As your concentration
Even if
on
it's an instantaneous.
Yeah.
hold the idea of it in your mind type thing.
I can understand the ruling, I just didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a topic of conversation with me somewhere else, so it's in the forefront of my mind. What do you want to do? You are still probably... What's the radius on light? It's like 30 and then 30 for dim.
Something like that. Right. 2020.
I mean, all of us except for Nyah
20.
have pretty good eyesight.
So yeah, you're about 60 feet from this opening currently.
Oh, I suggest we just slowly make our way up. Be quiet then.
Should we keep the light on?
Is there
I
like
appreciate it.
Nah, you don't need light, do you? Actually, I think Quadmere also might need it.
He's a dwarf, he's fine.
Yeah, okay. Oh.
His stat block may not say dark vision, but he's a dwarf.
Yeah, he's got it. Oh, okay, fine, for Nyah. The things we do for you, girl.
Thank you. Until I get my eye surgery, you know.
Yeah.
Your dragon eyes.
Forgot about your batshit concept. So I was gonna go, do you think you could replace my eyes with dragon eyes?
What?
I think we've kept the eyes, right?
We could try.
Yeah. Don't know how they're doing now.
They half rotten.
Is there light coming from the doorway opening?
As I said, there is some sort of light that's kind of moving a bit. It looks like firelight, like you would expect for down here. In a kind of, it's what you would use to light torches. You have been passing like torch sconces. There haven't been any like torches or anything in them, but there are torch sconces on the wall.
Maybe we should have been lighting those up on the way.
You would have to like sacrifice torches to do it.
Yeah.
How many torches do we technically have?
Mm-hmm.
I have one.
Probably not that many. Most of us have dark vision, so.
Nyah keeps a small supply, you know.
My character sheet says 10, but I think that's from like the very first day. I've just put them on there and never.
Yep.
Never used
Probably
them.
haven't used them, to be honest.
You have a light spell. Why do you need a torch?
Yeah.
Mm.
We don't light them unless we.
What are you doing? You're still 60. You haven't moved after Thrungi told you all to kind of hold up.
Ready to head in?
Let's go.
Yep.
You begin heading down, and eventually, kind of, your light extends all the way in and begins to light the room, and then the noise stops. The light stops moving. You continue walking down, and you come into the doorway into a large octagonal chamber. Roof is maybe 30 foot tall, about 60 foot in diameter, and 3 large archways lead off at the other cardinal points of the room. However, none of that catches your attention, because what does catch your attention, lit by firelight in the room, are 3 large creatures of the elements. The one lighting the room, a large fire elemental, literally just practically a tornado of roiling fire and clawed hands coming out the side. Similarly, a literal tornado of air, just whipping around, a gaunt kind of face of just eyes and a mouth just shimmying around the room. And then a large walking rock, just a boulder with arms and legs, its fists just smashed together as it sees you entering into the room. I need you all to roll initiative.
Can I let go of my spell because I'm holding it?
You do not have
Before
a surprise round.
Shit.
You
Okay.
had a light on, they saw you coming.
Yeah, fair enough.
That is why. Hordmere, absolutely rubbish. Lol. And 25 to 20.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. 20 to 15. Guys! 10 to 5.
7.
7
5.
for Balthazar.
11.
Rambear on 11.
11 from Rambear.
Yeah, I got it. And Nyah on 5. And the last elemental on nothing! You rolled a 1, has -1. And Hordmere was after Rambear. Jumping on first, the fire elemental reacts fastest to your presence. Thrungi and Balthazar were leading the way. Thrungi was technically the first one in the room, so he heads straight for Thrungi. This room isn't that large. They have a lot of movement. They can get to you. He's going to make 2, just like reaching out with his fiery claws, just wafting into you. First one is a 19 to hit, and the second one is a 23 to hit. I don't know what your AC is.
18. Was it?
Both hit, thank you. First one is 6 points of fire damage. Second one is, wow, absolute garbage. 5 points of fire damage. Halve them yourself. And you are... You don't need to be raging to be halving them. Now.
Oh, so rage. Oh.
That was one of the things you got for killing Pruther.
I forgot about that bit, okay?
You are now halving any fire damage. You are also on fire. As your beard, like your dragon skulls, the paintwork on them begins to like catch and begins to flake off. You are currently on fire. You can use an action to put it out, or you take damage at the start of your turns. That is the fire elemental's turn. Following up behind, kind of like wafting over him, heading towards the one with a bunch of light, is the air elemental. This circling tornado comes straight towards you. Actually, what it's going to do is it's just going to come directly on top of both of you and just start hurricaning on top of you. Can both of you make a strength saving throw, please? Balthazar.
6 or 9, if I'm close enough to Nyah.
You would still be close enough to Nyah. Not enough. Balthazar. Thrungi.
28.
28. Balthazar, you take 17 points of bludgeoning damage and are flung 20 feet back up the hallway. I need 1, 2 Hordmere, 3, 4 Nyah, 5, 6 Rambear. Nyah, can you make me a dexterity saving throw? As Balthazar comes flying towards you. Thrungi, you take 7 points of bludgeoning
20.
damage. You see him coming very quickly and just kind of drop to a knee. Balthazar goes over your head and like lands behind you just. Balthazar, you need to make a concentration check for your Ray of Frost.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter. You can just voluntarily let go of it to cantrip. And Balthazar, you take 7 more points of bludgeoning damage as you are thrown the 20 feet down the corridor.
Can I negate that with my monk slow fall?
You know what? Yeah, I think that would apply to this instance. So like you roll with the momentum and then land back up on your feet like in a Spider-Man pose. That is the end of their elemental turn. Thrungi, you have a fire elemental in front of you and an air elemental around you.
Well, I rage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to hit the stupid fire elemental in its stupid face.
Okay, at the top of your turn, you do take You take 7 points of fire damage.
Halved.
Halved to 3. Yep.
Oh, and then I hit it in its stupid face.
Go for it.
That is 28.
That hits.
Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
30.
Yep.
9 plus 10, so 19 points of damage for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I said 19, yeah?
Yeah.
So 18 for the second.
Nice. Just like amidst this tornado, you just like kind of swing wildly and just catch your new axe cleaving through literal fire. as it takes damage. You cleave one of its arms off before it kind of reforms in the fire. It is diminished somewhat as you slash through its form.
Another 8.
Another 8.
I forgot about the necrotic.
Necrotic happens at the top of its turn.
Oh, yes, it does. No! You put it in the damage as normal, and then it suffers... Oh, okay, I get it now. Sorry, it merges the two on D&D Beyond until you expand it.
Yeah. The necrotic damage happens at the start of its turn.
Okay.
So just remember to do that. After Thrungi, it's Rambear, and then Hordemir is on deck.
Right. So, this Earth Elemental.
He is still in the back. He's very slow to respond.
How would Transmute Rock affect an Earth Elemental? I'm joking, it's not magical.
I mean, you can certainly try it, an inventive use of the spell. I want to know what you want to try. I'm not saying no.
Well, though, so you will say no because it does specify non-magical rock of any sort.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is a magical creature.
Unfortunately, it would be quite funny because you can transmute rock to mud.
Do you know?
I just like the idea of that.
You know what? No, Rule of Cool is going to come in. Rule of Cool is going to come in. You can do something. It may not be very efficient because it is a magical creature, but it will do something.
You know, you should have it that once you hit level, like double the level you get it, you can start affecting magical rock.
That'll be fun, but don't say that because I'm not at that level, Thrungi, Bryn. Okay, so what I would like to do because I think it's funny is transmute rock to mud, which is non-magical rock of any sort in the area becomes an equal volume of thick flowing mud that remains for the spell's duration. The spell's duration is until you dismiss it. The ground becomes muddy enough that creatures can sink into it. Each foot that the creature moves through the mud costs 4 feet of movement, and any creatures on the ground when you cast a spell must make blah blah blah. Okay, dex saving throw, etc. So what I will actually do, because it would be nice if I could do this as well, and it is a 40-foot cube.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how tall the ceiling is, but I would like to cast it on the ceiling. If you do this,
okay.
Any creature this is specified. Any creature under the mud, when it falls, must make a dex saving throw. It takes 48 bludgeoning damage on a failed save. And I would like it to be restrained, if that's possible, because.
Okay, so you are literally. Yeah, considering it hasn't moved forward, you can see the ceiling where it is with your angle. So you can transmute the ceiling of this room to mud. It'll fall down. It will only hit the Earth Elemental. It won't hit the other two because they have shifted up. But
I've sent you this. So it doesn't. The thing it doesn't specify with ceiling mud is that it's restrained. Where I feel like if you're gonna absolutely slap at something in mud, it should be.
It will make a dexterity saving throw for the damage. It will then make a strength saving throw to see whether it's restrained by the mud. It'll make two separate saves. That's what will happen here.
It would be really funny if I could just it into mud, but that thematically, fine.
Dex saving throw as this ceiling of mud comes barreling towards the Earth Elemental. That is a 14 on the dice, -1 for 13. It takes 48 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, let's see what 48 is in my hands.
Balthazar,
We've been rolling badly today.
So just...
Sorry. Ooh. 18.
18 points of damage. There's just this wall of mud just comes cascading. Like it starts like it starts like its initial like, and then just a tsunami of mud just comes cascading down. The beautiful dwarven stonecraft that had shaped the ceiling is ruined, but this cascade of mud now just fills the room. The creature gets battered down to one knee as it makes a strength saving throw. That is a 22 on the strength saving throw, which just means it managed to pull its legs out. You're also.
It doesn't look funny when it does this.
It does. It's like a as its legs come out of the mud. You do also know that even if it had been restrained, it can glide through earth and rock, so it probably wouldn't have been actually restrained. So it is an earth elemental.
Yeah.
But that was cool and cinematic, and I love it.
Thank you.
It is now... Anything else you want to do?
Oh, yeah. No, actually, probably not in this room.
Cool. Hordmir is going to look around. Is light concentration, Balthazar? No, you're fine. He is going to realise that he doesn't want to be caught in a tornado, so he's going to take a few steps back, help Balthazar get up to his feet, and then just throw out a hand and cast Sacred Flame on, because it's a flame, he's going to cast it at the Air Elemental. Air Elemental makes a dex save. 8. That is a 13, which beats his spell save DC. So he releases a Sacred Flame, but before it can properly ignite, it just gets taken away by the wind. He's just like, come on then, help out. As he pulls you up, Balthazar, it is your turn. Nyah, you're on deck.
Seeing Rambear successfully restrain the rock one, or drop a ceiling on it.
Yeah.
I've had an idea, so I'm going to drop Ray of Frost, and I'm going to cast a new spell I haven't used yet that I've wanted to use forever. Magic Circle.
Ooh.
And I'm going to trap. I think the fire elemental inside this magic circle.
In the chat.
I will tell you now, Stephen.
Yep.
Magic Circle has a casting time of 1 minute. This will take 10 rounds.
I did not see that. Scratch that idea. I thought it was an action. That makes this spell even worse.
It's very much a prep for a
prep
thing.
spell. Yeah.
More than a.
Good to know for the future, though.
Okay. Well, that just like. Yeah, that's kind of screwed me because I thought that was an action. Fuck it, I'll just let Ray of Frost at it. At the fire elemental.
Yeah, go for it. Roll to heat.
I rolled crap today. 16 to hit.
16 to hit does hit. Roll damage.
That is 14 cold damage.
14 points of cold damage. You see it like it kind of like it gets hit by it, and you see like the ice initially appear before it very quickly just melts in the heat. But it does appear to like have like slowed it a little bit as it seems to like just start swimming, just from the shock of cold to it as its speed is reduced. Anything else?
That is it.
Nyah, you're up.
Okay. Which elemental is closer to me?
Technically, the air elemental is, because it is in Thrungi and Balthazar, or where Balthazar's was space, because it can just exist around you. If you wanted to get to the fire elemental, which is looking pretty beaten up at this point, like bits of it are like guttering a little bit before they kind of restart, you would have to step into the air elemental.
Okay, no, I'll just attack the air elemental. I'm gonna cast Spectral Ram.
Ooh. Go for it. Is that a attack roll from you? I believe so. I should know.
It is.
I wrote the spell.
Yeah, ranged spell attack.
Cool. Make a ranged spell
okay.
attack.
That
plus 8 for you.
Yeah. Was 16 plus 8.
Yeah, that'll hit it easily. You just stand there and just like you deliberately aim to the right hand side so you're not going to hit Thrungi, and then just poof, like out of your shield, you like slam your shield forward, and this figurehead of a ram made of force just goes projectiling forwards. Roll damage for me.
Do 2d10. That is 9 damage, and it gets pushed 10 feet And it has to make a strength saving throw.
I will make the strength saving throw. That is a 15 on the strength save.
It just fails, so it's not prone.
It would be knocked prone if it wasn't literally just a ball of angry air and being capable of being knocked prone. So you see it like tumble in the force before it just like regathers itself. But it is fundamentally pushed out of Thrungi's space, out of the way. So someone could walk up and stand next to Thrungi now, or potentially at this point move into the room. There is just about enough space to move into the room. At the end of Nyah's turn, it is the Earth Elemental's turn, who now sees that there is space. Nyah, did you stay still or did you move up? That's an important question.
I move up a bit closer to Thrungi.
So you're like level with Thrungi at this point, like forming a wall in the doorway. Gotcha. At that point, the Earth Elemental goes, like, starts pulling itself out of the mud, and will come forward. Having seen Nyah do that spell, it's gonna, with its long arm, like, as it begins swinging, its arm gets longer as, like, rock formations come out of it, and it swings, like, over Thrungi's head, through the Fire Elemental, and whacks towards you, Nyah, as it makes 2 slam attacks at you. That is a 26 and a 19.
Well, the 26 hits.
You rolled an 18 on the die.
Whoa!
So 12 points of bludgeoning damage to you, Nyah. And now you have an earth and a fire elemental blocking the way into this room. At which point it is the fire elemental's turn. Bryn, sorry, you hit the fire elemental, didn't you? Should have done this earlier. When you hit it, you take fire damage. You take 13 points of fire damage, half to 6 from each of your attacks against it. And it is going to continue wailing on you because you've done it a decent amount of damage, and you're kind of fiery like it. You're on fire. Yeah, it's not that intelligent. It's just going to keep wailing on you. Did you go reckless or not previously?
I did not go reckless.
Just wanted to check. That is a...
Take points of necrotic damage.
Yes. Roll. How much?
10.
10. Gotcha.
Like the 17th time.
Yeah, you see, like suddenly, like, parts of the fire just get drawn to your axe. Your axe kind of glows briefly for a second before cooling back down to that dark green metal. A dirty 20 and a 10 to hit you. 13 points of fire damage, half to 6. And you are once again still on fire. Air Elemental's turn. Does it get its thing back? It does. It kind of suddenly, like, coils into like a small like jet stream almost, goes passing through the 2 elementals and comes to sit directly in the hallway, catching let's see, it would definitely catch the 2 front ones. On an even number it also catches Rambear. That's an odd number. On an even number it also catches Hordmere. That's an even number, catches Hordmere. I need Nyah, Thrungi, and Hordmere to make strength saving throws. Hordmere makes it.
Yeah, alright, hold me.
Thrungi.
Oh, I attack it twice. Fire elemental.
No. Strength saving throw.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you.
Air Elemental came through the gap, engulfed you all, and started doing a whirlwind again.
20.
20, you're fine. Nyah?
21.
21. You're all fine. None of you are getting flung this time. You'll like just kind of like drop your haunches and like hold it tight. It does roll quite well for damage though. 7, 8, 15, plus 2. 17 points of damage, halved for all of you to 8. It is bludgeoning damage to Thrungi. Did you rage? Don't remember you saying it. I just assumed you did.
Yeah.
Thrungi halved to 4
No.
again.
8 damage.
8 points of bludgeoning damage to all of you, including Hordmere. That's a lot of his hit points. and that is its turn. It's again in your space. There is just a whirling hurricane around you, deafening you. The fire's kind of occasionally getting picked up by it, and the hurricane's almost on fire at this point, and occasionally picking up rocks from the earth elemental as well, and just kind of smacking you in the face as you try to dodge it. Thrungi, your turn. Rambear on deck.
How is it looking?
The fire elemental, as I said previously, is like starting to like gutter a little bit, like every so often, like it like swings with a claw, and the claw kind of dies a little bit as it's losing a bit of its form.
All right. Reckless.
At the top of your turn, you take 10 points of fire damage, half to 5. I'm rolling quite well on the d10s.
Does an 18 hit?
Oh yeah. It's a giant column of fire. It's not hard to hit.
And a 31.
To hit. Yeah, sorry, I thought you said 31 damage then. I was very confused. Yeah, both hit.
So 20 points of damage and 17 points.
It is really starting to gutter and like struggle to hold its form at this point. Still angrily kind of trying to swipe at you, but like almost like parts of it are missing, like where you would expect the fire to reach up is just dying. It is barely holding on. Rambear.
Cool. How is our little companion doing? How's
He got hit pretty hard by a chunk of rock that got caught in the hurricane, but he's doing all right for now.
all right for now?
He's got a bit of blood kind of coming down his brow.
All right, cool. Well, that's his bit. How he's doing is his own business. Right, like roughly how close to the creatures are? How close together are these elementals?
They're all pretty close at this point. Basically,
Oh.
yeah, basically touching, you would say.
Basically touching. Is there a way? Right, it's only 5 foot, so they have to actually be touching. Is there a way for me to moonbeam 3 of them, or just 2 of them?
You could moonbeam all 3. You would also hit Nyah and Thrungi in the process.
Interesting. Wait. It's only 5 foot radius.
The air elemental is currently in their space. That's how they're all technically touching.
Yeah. I see. That's unfortunate for them. No, I won't.
Actually, no, thinking about it, you wouldn't be able to get the earth elemental in that as well, because the earth elemental has a 10-foot reach, so it's actually slightly further away. So you could hit fire and earth without hurting Nyah and Thrungi, or you could hit fire and air, hurting Thrungi and Nyah.
I mean, it's radiant damage, so basically, Nyah's already so radiant. But no, okay, we'll go for the earth and fire.
Cool.
Let's do a
Constitution save.
level.
Con save for the earth elemental is an 18, and for the fire elemental, 10.
All right, what's the ruling if it's exactly on the
It
save?
meets it, beats it.
It does save.
So it does. The
Meets
earth
it, beats
elemental
it.
does save.
All right, so
Go on.
fire elemental takes 25 points of radiant damage.
You
And
see,
earth
as the moonbeam just ignites, it cores through the fire elemental, and the ghostly fire just completely engulfs and chokes out the fire elemental, and it is gone.
Sick.
Earth elemental takes how much?
Earth elemental is going to take that halved, so 12.
Well,
Yeah? 25 halved.
yeah. It just starts cooking it. You see it like starting to melt through bits of rock, but the earth elemental is still holding up pretty well. Anything else?
No, I'm pretty happy. I'm like out of the room, right? Still out of the room.
Yeah, you're still up the corridor.
Yeah, maybe I'll just move like slightly around the corner if there's sort of a corner of this door, so I can have half cover.
But no,
Just a corridor.
you're basically in a straight corridor. The rooms, the doorway's about here. You're about here.
Cool, but Balthazar's between me and the.
Balthazar is behind you, with Hordmir.
I got
You
thrown,
got blown
didn't I?
backwards.
Oh yeah. Maybe I retreat a lot. No, okay, I'm fine here. That's fine.
The
Yeah,
Earth Elemental
I'm
is
good
like
for this
in
turn, I
your
think.
face, like this hurricane just passing by your nose.
Oh my god, this is so hard to visualize that map.
Hordmin's turn.
Okay, I get it.
Is going to cast Sanctuary. I think it's not touch. Is going to point out a finger towards Nyah and cast Sanctuary on Nyah. With one of his first level spell slots.
What does Sanctuary do?
It means that if a creature wishes to attack you, it must make a Wisdom saving throw first. If it fails the Wisdom saving throw, it has to either give up the attack or attack someone else.
No.
He saw like the huge rock elemental give you a pretty decent whack, and doesn't want that to happen to you again. That's only a bonus action, so as an action, he will cast Sacred Flame on the air elemental that's in front of it. That's going to make a dex save. That's a 16, which exceeds, therefore does no damage. That's the end of Hordmin's turn. Balthazar, you're up. Nyah on deck.
I'm going to cast another Ray of Frost at the Rock Elemental.
Rock elemental just through the storm. Go for it. Make an attack roll.
Natural 20.
Holy shit.
Whoa!
Just Balthazar just gets up properly pissed, unleashes just like a proper Kamehameha kind of beam of frost. It cuts straight through the air elemental, and it smashes into the earth elemental.
That is 36 damage.
36 damage. You suddenly just see like
Quite a good roll.
spikes of ice just go cascading up this earth elemental that like seep into the rock and then crack it open, and like large chunks of rock just start falling off this earth elemental. Like one of its arms just is like properly wrecked and falls off before it quickly kind of reshifts some rock to form the arm again. That beat it up quite a lot.
That's what we wanted.
Nyah, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the Earth Elemental.
Cool. To reach it, you will provoke an attack of opportunity from the air elemental.
No. Yeah, because the elemental's right in front of me.
The air elemental is literally on top of you. You are inside
it. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah, no, I'll go for the air elemental.
Cool. You just start like hacking randomly around you. Very weird imagery. You're literally attacking air. But go for it.
Yeah. Maybe the radiant will help.
Maybe.
That is 18 to hit.
That does hit. Roll damage.
It is all around me, so it makes sense.
It's not hard to hit.
That is 8 slashing damage and 2 radiant.
10 points of damage. Second attack.
29 to hit.
29 does hit.
And that is 13 slashing and 6 radiant.
So 19. 2 blazing strikes kind of catch hold of this, and you like knock rock out of this hurricane, weakening it slightly, and you begin to feel the strength of the wind die down. It's still holding up pretty well, but those are some pretty hefty chunks. That the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Earth Elemental is going to keep wailing on you. It has to make a Wisdom save. That is a failure, which means it's going to turn to Thrungi and whack him instead. Thrungi, 21 to hit you. 12, half to 6 points of bludgeoning damage. Is going to attempt to strike Nyah again. Another Wisdom save. Failure. Comes after Thrungi again. 19 to hit. Does that beat your AC?
Yes.
Only 11 points, half to 5 of bludgeoning damage. That is the end of its turn. Fire Elemental is dead. Air Elemental doesn't recharge its whirlwind, so it's just going to lash out at Nyah, and it's got to make wisdom saves. That's a nat 1, so it's going to attack Rambear instead, because Rambear is within range.
Wow.
17 to hit you, Rambear.
That's not a hit.
It comes swinging towards you. You quickly just throw up your shield, and you feel like the wind break across it, like a windbreak on a beach. I don't know. You'll go after Nyah again with a wisdom save. Failure again. Sanctuary is doing its job. Back to Rambear. That will hit.
Not
Rambear.
for poor little Rambear though.
That will hit Rambear for quite a lot of damage. 17 points of bludgeoning damage to Rambear. That is the end of the air elemental's turn. Thrungi, you are inside an air elemental and got whacked by an earth elemental.
Cool. I'm going to hit the earth elemental in its shooting face.
To do that, you will take an attack opportunity from the air elemental because you are currently in its space. It will attack you as you leave.
Nice.
I didn't hear any of that. Your mic didn't pick it up.
Well, that's fucking stupid because the mic is literally here.
I'm just telling you the fact.
I hit the stupid air elemental in its face.
Go for it.
Reckless for 28.
Gone reckless. 28 hits. Roll damage. Or roll second attack because you do that anyway.
31.
Yeah. It's very hard for you to not hit elementals. It's not like they have armor and they're large creatures.
21 points of damage.
Yep.
17 points of damage.
This thing is now barely holding together. It is little more than a strong breeze at this point that anyone could knock over. Speaking of which, Rambear.
Hell yeah. Alright.
Oh, I just realised Earth Elemental should have taken more Moonbeam damage on its turn. It did fail, so can you roll the damage for the Earth Elemental in Moonbeam?
Yes! Okay, I was just about to ask this.
And Thrungi, you were technically
sorry.
still on fire, so take another 10 points of fire damage, half to 5.
4 plus 14. So that's 18 of Moonbeam damage. And has it moved out of the Moonbeam?
It has not.
It has not. Okay, cool. And they're still by the air elemental.
Earth Elemental's a little bit back from it, because it has a reach.
Yeah, no, but Thrungi and Nyah are still in the range of the
Yes.
air elemental. Yeah. So I can't just splat them. I can, but not
You're
without hurting
nice.
my friends. Well, am I? Am I?
I will let you based on what you can see here. Both of these, with a bit of concerted effort, would go down before they got a chance to act again.
Both the elementals, not both Nyah and Thrungi, right?
Yeah, the elementals are in a state that if you hit them hard enough, or hit them, I mean, the wind element, the air elemental is probably going to go down fairly easily, and the earth elemental doesn't have a lot left either.
That's fair.
Just don't want you to spend like a 6th level spell when something's nearly dying. It's clearly kind of on its
No,
face.
I also don't want to spend a 6. Well, I was hoping I could just move Moonbeam over one of the others, but if it's still in my Moonbeam, I can't do much about that. Let's see. Is this not concentration? Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's see if we let's see if we can do this with Thorn Whip. Is the Earth Elemental in range of Thorn Whip?
I think Thorn Whip's got like 30 foot.
Sorry,
yeah.
30 foot.
Oh yeah, easy.
Nice. All right, we're gonna try.
Plus 10 to hit.
Try and hit it. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm like really. Oh, okay, 22 to hit.
Easy. 3d6 piercing damage.
Banging. 10 plus.
Oh, it's still up just.
Wah. Is it large or smaller?
It is a large creature, technically, yeah.
Come to mama.
I do not know how this possibly works, but yeah.
Yeah, I just drag it closer.
You pull it closer, and pull it off Nyah and Thrungi, which means it's no longer in their space. I'm assuming you've backed up a little bit, so you don't pull it into you.
Oh, you know, like when you're in a club and you do that fishing thing.
Yeah.
It's be easier if my camera's on. Sorry. You know, you like do the hook and you sort of like
Yeah.
do the roll it back, roll it back, roll it back. I'm sort of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will step back as my movement before it enters my space.
Cool. That's pulled off those two. It's Hordmir's turn. He is going to do another Sacred Flame at it. It's going to make a dex save. It failed! Hordmere might get the kill. Hordmere gets the kill. Hordmere unleashes the sacred flame as you pull it back, and like it's like you pull it into this sacred flame. Essentially, it's just like this line of flame, and as it gets pulled into it, it just dissipates against the fire. And the air elemental is gone. That'll end his turn. Balthazar, you can get up to the earth elemental if you wish.
I'm just gonna fire Ray of Frost at it. I'm perfectly fine being here.
Go for it.
That's a 20 something to hit. 26 to hit. Another 15 cold damage.
Anything else? If not, Nyah, you're up.
That's it.
It's gonna be. You're gonna need top end damage, but you can definitely take it out on your turn.
Okay, I will go for it.
You rush up to this earth elemental. It's like starting to crumble. Like it's on like a 3-point stance at this point. It's like rock falls off it.
That is a 19 to hit.
Yeah, roll damage.
That is 7 plus 5.
So 12.
And I will hit it again. 14 to hit.
14 does not hit. You bring in the sword and clang, and it just breaks off some rock, but doesn't appear to do any damage. On its turn, it is going to attempt to swing at you. Sanctuary has ended because you've made an attack, which means it just makes 2 attacks at you. One's a natural 5, one's a natural 19. The natural 19 will hit. And it rolls garbage damage for 8 points of bludgeoning damage. It just whacks into you. Thrungi, finish the job.
Suppose I will just attack it normally.
Yep.
For a 22 and a 23.
Cool. You can roll if you wish, but I think your bare minimum damage will kill it. How do you want to finish this?
Well, I'm doing... Before I roll any dice, it's 20 points of damage.
Yeah. How do you want to finish this?
The axe just goes straight through its torso, like diagonally going down.
Nyah just like takes this brunt on the shield. Bits of rock catches it, and then like just round the corner of Nyah, using her as kind of like a pivot to get the full momentum into the swing. The axe swing comes through and just cleaves into the rock, gets stuck for a second before Thrungi puts an extra level effort, and the whole thing just collapses into rubble, and just bits of it roll into the mud that's kind of filled the floor of this room now. And the noise dies down. Your deep breaths kind of filling the space and echoing a little bit off the walls. You take a breath. And we'll take our break there. So we'll pick up with you having cleared the first room of this mini dungeon. And we'll see what picks up afterwards. So see you in a bit. Welcome back. Yes, let's quickly pick up where we left off. So, having just slain the first elementals you've come across in this dividing room, as Tasnir call it. So, the room is now it's probably about 40 foot high after Rambear decided to mess around with the ceiling. 60 foot across. You all kind of step into the room to take it in a little bit better. And you notice that there are two more golems in this room, beaten, melted, and scattered about. These ones appear to be made of both stone and iron. You also see about half a dozen armoured dwarven bodies in the black and bronze of Karak Grungron. Some heavily burnt skin. They're remarkably well preserved, considering. But yes, elsewhere in this room, as I said, there are the three other exits to this room, each fairly broad in terms of their entranceway.
Map didn't show which direction was which, did it?
No, Tasnir was pretty apologetic that she basically could find where this room led to, but not necessarily in which direction. Taking a little bit closer, you can see. So if you entered from Cardinal North, essentially, to the east, there is some wooden doors that appear burnt and broken in. That were part of that doorway. To the south and west, both doorways just kind of open arches that didn't appear to be any doors blockading them at any point.
That makes me feel like the tombs are to the east, which is our left, isn't it?
That would be your left as you entered, yeah.
As we saw evidence of the like golems having suffered fire damage, but was there any evidence near the entrance of any sort of fire damage?
Roll investigation.
It would be easier if I was good at investigating. That's a 7.
That's a 7. Like, there's burn marks around this room, and pretty just kind of like wanton damage with no real necessary direction from what you can tell.
Any sort of signs or directions in the stonework?
Good question. Roll investigation. You can have a look around. Not very high DC, like these kind of things would be quite obvious.
That's a 2 for a natural one.
You look around, and while some of the walls at various points have writing on them, most have been damaged in some sort, so at best would be half a word. All are written in Dwarvish script.
Yeah, I didn't think that through at all. Thrungi, can you read any of this?
Can I?
It's Dwarvish.
What does it say?
As I say, most appears to be pretty damaged, and you can't. At best, you can kind of guess it's like gate or pathway on various points. The one to the west, cardinal point, so right as you entered, has held up pretty well. You can at least fill in the blanks where runes are missing, and it appears to be directions to the mines.
Directions to the mines, although I'm not quite sure that's exactly where we need to go.
I think it is. You wanted to go. There was the 3 options. There's the tombs, the forges, and the mines. How busted in are the doors?
The wooden ones.
Yeah.
They appear to have been broken in pretty forcefully.
Can we see anything if I go up to it and see
Roll
town
perception.
past them? 20.
20. You look down the hallway, bringing your lit amulet to take a look down. The hallway just extends. It begins to kind of drift downwards a little bit, but it just seems to go on for a long way. But with that 20, you also can make out that along the walls there appears to be kind of carvings and more runic words kind of just etched into the stonework.
I think this is probably the way to the tombs. What about you guys?
What does the stonework say?
It's pretty kind of all-encompassing. There's nothing like central to it, but it seems to cover topics of legacy, family, ancestors, remembrance, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, based on the word, and it's definitely that way.
Okay. Let's go south. I'll just start walking off.
Just heading south.
Taking the light with me.
Just like I have the idea that it's like an anglerfish and a tiny fish that Nyah just goes with it.
Yeah, I was
Just
gonna say,
attached to
I follow
that.
the light.
Like a moth. That's the episode title. Nyah is a moth. Okay. You head towards the southern entrance. Coming to it, again, another kind of long hallway stretches in front of you beyond your light. You can make it out to be probably about 25 foot wide and tall. It seems to be most of the caverns are almost deliberately square. Just seems to be an element of dwarfish design. That they like things being even, both high and wide. And yeah, it kind of stretches out into the darkness. Roll perception at disadvantage because you're kind of using your dark vision to see how far down you can see.
That's a natural 20 and a natural 1. So 6.
It just extends beyond your dark vision. You can't kind of make out much in the monochrome that you have.
I guess carry on. Where we're
Carry
Sort
on
of during this
my
one.
wayward- Sorry.
I guess if we want Nyah to see, there's no point in us trying to be sneaky.
So are you all heading down this route? You're not dividing the party, going randomly in different directions.
I think it makes
No,
sense.
man.
Hordmere decides to go to the tombs. No, I'm joking. Fuck you guys.
Just walks off.
Cool. You enter through the doorway and begin walking down. Let's say it's a pretty wide space. You could walk abreast down here if you wanted to. For the sake of this, what is the marching order? Are you walking 5 abreast? Are you staggered? How are you walking?
I'm just right behind Balthazar in the light.
Thungi takes the point again.
Thrungi takes point man, Balthazar, Nyah, Hordmere, Rambear, I assume, or some hodgepodge pattern to that effect. You continue. You start down this pathway, and as I say, even to all of you, it extends beyond what you can even see. And then, Rambear, you hear it first. It is the softest sound of metal striking stone. And then suddenly the entire corridor becomes a whirling corridor of chaos. As blades jump out of the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and start slashing up and down the corridor. Further on ahead, you start hearing the sound of cracks of stone thundering against each other. I need everyone to roll initiative, as you have just entered a hell of a trap.
What have we entered?
A fun little trap. I say fun.
And not nice.
Lethal trap.
Slicey dicey trap. Oh shit.
Ugh.
Um, 25 to 20.
20.
21.
Ooh, Nyah with a 21. When did that happen?
I know.
20 to 15. Sounds about right.
17. Sorry, 17.
Hordmere. Natural 20 for Hordmere. Damn. That's a 19, but still. Thrungi.
7.
Okay. Suddenly, these blades come whirling out, filling the part of the corridor you are in slashing blades. As far as you can tell, it seems to extend to the edge of your dark vision. This corridor is now just every so often like an axe swing comes down, a buzzsaw comes out of the floor, a scything blade swings out of the wall at ankle height.
A buzzsaw.
Essentially.
Okay.
These are
just
dwarves.
checking. Those
They
are
can do-
canonically exist in D&D. Good to know.
Dwarves. It is a surprise round. None of you were looking for traps, so the blades do get to attack first. All of you get targeted by a blade. Rambear. No, I'm just working through my screen as it is on my screen. Balthazar. That is a 19 to hit you.
That's my AC.
That's your AC. You take 16 points of slashing damage. Next on my screen is Nyah. That is a 10. You see it coming. You don't even see it coming, but it just slams into your arm and you just like slide with it. Rambear.
Oink.
That is a 22 to hit.
Yeah, just about.
15 points of slashing damage. Thrungi, natural 20. These things cannot crit. It's not like it's a sentient thing targeting a weak body. I think traps critting is a dumb idea. Thrungi, 18 points of slashing damage. And Hordmere, that's cocked. Hordmere gets hit. Ooh, Hordmere is not looking good. Hordmere just gets from behind, like almost like a pickaxe, just goes straight through his shoulder, and he lets out a scream of pain before like collapsing to the floor, and very closely rolling out of the way as a saw comes up from underneath. At the top, Nyah, you're up. As far as you can tell from the light, which extends 40 feet, the blades are still spinning 40 feet in front of you. It's 20 feet back to where you came from.
Back from where we came from, can I see like any sort of, with my very low perception, can I see any sort of mechanism or thing
What
that
perception
could
check?
like untrigger? Okay.
Sorry, what was that? I heard a teen.
13.
13. Looking back, the light just about extends into the room. You can't spot anything. Not anything back in that room. There may be something else in this corridor, but in the swirling chaos, you're busy kind of ducking from blades as you're at it. You still have your movement
Okay.
and a bonus action.
I will try and move back. from
You're
where
going
we came
to
from.
retreat out of the room.
Yeah.
With 30 feet of movement, you can get out of the room. The blades are still spinning and causing havoc to everyone. Balthazar, you know it's continuing forward. You don't know how far. You are the fastest person in the party. It's up to you.
First, I'm going to... Can I pull Hardmere back out?
As in, you go out with him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
you've
like
got
help him up and help him up.
You've got 40 feet of movement. It's about 20 feet to get back. Yeah, you're at half movement to drag him. You can just about get out of the blades with him.
Cool. I'll get out with him and I'll cast Cure Wounds on him. Because he did just take a big hit.
Let me know how much he heals.
For 13 points.
Nice. Thanks. Oh, that fucking hurt. I suppose we...
Do you know how to disable them?
Hit them hard. Jam them. I don't know. I didn't design the fucking things. That is the end of your turn, Balthazar. It is now the Blades' turn again. Everyone who is currently still in the Blades, which would be Rambear and Thrungi, will get attacked. Since Rambear is on my screen first. That is an 18 Rambear. The thing is, like, subconsciously in my head, I know Rambear has a high AC for a Druid. 10 points of slashing.
Look for a bear.
10 points of slashing damage to you, Rambear. And Thrungi, that's cocked. That's a natural 19 for a lot more damage. 19 points of damage to you, Thrungi.
I've taken more damage from those 2 attacks than I did during the entirety of the last fight.
Well, here's the question. Would you have ended your rage? Because don't you technically rage permanently?
No.
I thought you'd reached that point where you didn't have to end your rage if you didn't want to.
No,
Okay.
no, that doesn't begin until like level a lot higher. It's not showing for me at any rate.
Okay, that's my misremembering the blades. These blades just slashing through. Rambear, a kind of a full-on like bladed, bearded axe swings into you, slams into your thigh before retracting back into the wall. Thrungi, it comes for your head. You quickly kind of like sidestep it, but it still like catches you in the shoulder as it grazes through, putting a crack into one of your dragon skull shoulder plates. Doesn't fully break, but crack into it. It is Hordmir's turn. He is going to look about and go, this might work. And he like throws it, like slams his staff into the ground before like wrenching it forward. You see it suddenly grow really hot at the top and target the axe that just hit Rambear as it starts swinging back, and you see that axe begin to heat up and warp, and begins to melt as he casts heat metal on it. Heat metal spell. Do this. I think it's 3d8 for a heat metal spell. 2d8 fire damage. 14. You see this blade get really warped quite badly. And seems considerably fucked up. A small like punch would probably snap it in half. That's Hordmir's turn. Rambear, it's your turn. Thrungi, you're up in a little bit.
Rambear's gonna retreat. And as a free action, can I just tell Thrungi maybe we should go back a little bit? Or yell back, Thrungi, retreat!
Cool. Rambear dives out of there, dodging blades as they go. End of Rambear's turn. Thrungi, you hear down the other side just some very heavy as rock seems to slam onto rock. Roll a perception check for me.
With or without?
Just straight for now.
18.
18. You swear you spot something very brief glow down the far end of the hall. But you like it's a brief moment, and you quickly have to duck as a sword blade comes swinging out of the wall perfectly at dwarf head height.
Excuse me.
Your turn.
Cool. I'm going to just walk backwards.
Step out.
As I do, I'm going to look to see whether there are any levers or pads or anything that set off the trap / would be used to reset it.
Cool. Make me an investigation check. It is stonework. I think that gives you advantage. I think officially it's like on history, but that's bullshit. So.
15 dead.
15. You look around and there doesn't appear to be an obvious trigger. There doesn't look like a depressed plate that any of you stepped on. In terms of disarming, you look at it and go, I mean, these things come out of the walls. If you can blockade each one, it might do something and severely like weaken this thing. Maybe just try and like read each bit and like learn where the attacks are coming from to dodge through. But in terms of like full on like, in terms of like a thieves tool check to disarm, there's too many blades. It's probably not hinging on a single mechanism.
Okay.
As you step back out, blades swing for a little bit longer, and it then settles down and seems to stop as you have all exited the room.
Okay, are we still in or out of initiative?
Technically out.
Cool. Thrungi is going to do an investigation check to see if there are any runes as you enter the room.
Cool, roll
Would you like any help?
$19.
19. I mean, there's definitely runes, but every doorway you've passed through is pretty rune bedecked.
Sure. Are there any that look out of place that aren't in, that look dwarvish but aren't words?
With a 19?
Specifically in like the doorway, the archway as you go through. Thrungi would know he got to a certain point before the blades set off. Therefore, somewhere in the area between there and the door, there is something that set it off.
You look around the door frame at all of these rooms, and it doesn't look like there's anything. There might be something. You like pick out individual ones that are inherently magical runes, but you're not certain as to what does what. It's out of your wheelhouse as to which rune would be responsible for what.
Yeah, he wasn't expect, but does he? How many does he spot? 2, 4, 3.
At least half a dozen that you would recognise as magical.
Okay. He walks or comes back out / calls for Hordmir. He just says, Hordmir, do you recognise any of these runes? And he'll point them out.
I mean, they're heavily used in places, but they're dwarvish magical runes for sure. But I don't exactly know it was trying to reference.
Would any of them set off the trap?
Possibly. I'll be honest, he rolled quite low. I would be apprehensive trying to do anything to the runes in case it made it worse. That's all. I mean, I think the better plan would be just, damage them. I mean, seem to be pretty susceptible to it.
Sure, but
What are you thinking?
well, if we had some way of just disabling them from being activated in the first place, it would mean they would then be able to be used by the clan once we have this place. They would need to be set.
Yeah. Like, based on everything I know, which I'll admit isn't a lot. It's not exactly my area, but Tasnia gave me some things before we came in. These are traps designed by dwarves. They're not going to be a simple case of, oh look, a rune, I'm going to destroy that rune and it's gone. We're smarter than that. Please.
Yes, but something has to trigger it.
Yes, I'm not denying that fact. What I'm saying is that thing that's triggering it, I don't know what it is. That's my problem. What I do know, and I'm fairly sure Tasnia told you this as well, is that the path to a Findal Forge is pretty well protected, because, we don't want anybody walking in there, especially when we set off all of the defenses. So, by my guess, turning these things off would probably be done there, and it might turn everything off at that point.
Do we need to turn it off if we can bypass it?
I mean, that might be a different option.
Thrungi.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't talking to you. Pardon me.
How are you aiming to bypass it?
There is a way. It would take a minute, and then we'd have to find a safe place for a minute after, but we could always our way through. A little bit lazy. Might upset our DM. He's probably spent a long time thinking about this trap.
Although, to be fair, it gives us it for 8 hours, right?
Yeah.
You could just stealth along as gas, like at the top of the things.
It's a very lazy way to do a dungeon crawl. It is a way to do a dungeon crawl. Up to you guys.
Light up a coin and throw it down the tunnel.
Make me a strength check.
Right.
See how far you can throw a coin.
That was a nat one.
Nat one. You.
Who's behind you?
Yeah. And you just you actually let go of it at the wrong moment and it pings into Hordmir's head. What the? What? I'm sorry, I can't deactivate an ancient trap made by dwarves. Didn't think I felt like a coin through my head is worthwhile.
Sorry.
That on purpose. And Thungi goes and picks it up and just throws it himself.
Yeah, I was going to pass it to Thrungi if you didn't. That was just a bad throw. I apologize.
I assume it's just a
straight strength check.
Straight strength check. 21.
Yeet. You get this coin. You're fairly confident, probably about 100 feet down this corridor, possibly a little further. At which point it lights up that area, kind of a 20-foot or 40-foot radius with a little bit of dim light. Anyone who wants to can make a perception check.
20.
21.
7.
Observant. Anyone who rolled above a 15 can kind of make out. Anyone who rolled above an 18 can make out. As you look further down this corridor now, you can see that just beyond where the coin actually landed, the ground looks like it's been broken and shattered in places. Like a tremendous amount of force has rammed into the floor, into the ceiling, into the sides. From what, you're not entirely sure, but it looks pretty kind of uneven down there. and would be kind of treacherous underfoot. In terms, it would difficult terrain. You would move at half speed, kind of thing through it. You also kind of can spot that there's torches in the sconces down this hallway, probably spaced about every 20 feet. Is a torch sconce on each wall. They're all unlit, but they are set with a torch.
Cool. Well, we're having a look. Thrungi's actually going to pull out a bolt, air some fabric from his other clothes, wrap it around it.
What's other clothes? But carry on.
It's formal wear.
That shirt doesn't have sleeves anymore.
Or a collar.
Or a hat.
Ask someone to light it.
I can light it.
I assume you mean on fire
anyways.
rather than a light spell.
Yes, on fire.
Yeah.
Cool. And then he's going to shoot it down to kind of arc across them, hoping to set them all on fire.
Okay, this is an extremely hard shot.
I expected that.
Because bear in mind, you are standing currently in the doorway, not in the thing. So it actually kind of... The doorway's about 10, 15 foot wide, and the hallway is 25 feet wide. So, like, you're on an angle trying to hit these, unless you step into the room.
Only steps, it literally takes a step in right against the back of it.
So you're in the... So you take a step through to the left, essentially, and then up against the wall.
Yeah, because they didn't go off till Thrungi was a couple of steps in the room.
As you step across the threshold, the blades activate. One of them...
Well, he wouldn't continue the step then.
It's as you step through, your form steps through. You can't second guess yourself at this point. You have made that call. It's only a 16 to hit. It doesn't actually hit you as the blade comes through, but you like see it coming and then very quickly kind of step back out of the room as a bit.
All right then, fine. It's gonna be like that. And
Roll me an intelligence check.
13.
13, decent enough with your stone cunning. You assume that possibly the trap had kind of jammed a little bit, which is why it didn't activate straight away initially. But since now it's been activated, it's essentially worked its rust off and now triggers the moment someone steps across.
Okay, fine. He still takes the shot.
Yeah, okay. Make me a crossbow shot at... This is going to be a very high AC, essentially.
So it's not at disadvantage?
No, but there's like cover and shit.
That's fine. I assumed it would be.
There's no reason to give you disadvantage. It's not like you're doing this from a dumb position. It's just what you're going to try and pull off is hard.
Heavy crossbow +1 for a 25.
25. You managed to light 2 torches about 40 and then 60 feet down the left-hand side.
How many others are there available?
That you can see. You got the coin about 100 foot down. They're spaced 20 foot evenly on either side.
Okay. Thrungi does another bolt, asks for a light, and then we'll try and aim at one, like 120 foot, like right at the edge of the light down the other end.
Okay, this will be at disadvantage now because you're essentially trying to shoot into dim light.
Wouldn't I see that as normal light?
It's also beyond the short range of the crossbow anyway. 120 feet. Its short range is 100 foot. So 120 foot, you're at disadvantage.
Oh, so it is. Can I shoot? But that 100 foot is the same length as we threw the coin, so...
Yeah.
Cool, that's fine then. I was just saying, as dark vision is dim light as normal light.
Yeah.
Disadvantage from that, yes. Damn it. Okay, for 22.
You shoot this one down the corridor, and
I'm only aiming at a specific one thing.
It misses, unfortunately, just clatters off the stone and hits the floor, and then gutters for it lights a short way down there. You can see a little bit more of the broken stonework before it gutters out and fails.
Not trying that again. But we have some light.
It's
So
better than
we have
nothing.
2 options. Clouds, or we try to dodge the blades.
How
Fine.
many feet of dodging blades is it?
At least 120 feet.
That we can see.
Yeah, the corridor
Does
continues
Balthazar-
beyond the end of that light.
That's 1 round. For
One
you guys,
round for Balthazar. Peace, motherfuckers!
See you later.
I mean, for
Could
Thrungi, it's 2 rounds of sprinting.
Oh yeah, you can all sprint.
do you think, Thrungi, that there would be a mechanism on the other side to shut the traps down?
I wouldn't be able to say. I don't have the knowledge of the workings here.
Horde Wave 5 says, yeah, not a clue. I wouldn't be surprised if it's only turned off in the Findal Forge itself.
It might be worth just all of us clouding over.
That is the safest choice.
If we cloud, Rambear, can we turn, like, can we become clouds and turn it off at will? For a
Yeah, so
certain
it's
period?
yeah, the mechanic of Windwalk is that we can it takes a minute to cast, and then you turn into wind. But then you can pop in and out of it, but it's not like it takes a whole minute, so 10 rounds, during which time you're incapacitated. So you have to find a safe space to unwind yourself. Generally.
It might
You can
be
also
good if
post it in the
there
chat.
are other corridors with traps like these, so we can kind of do them all, depending on what we see on the other side.
It is a very lazy way of doing it, but
Just to be clear, I just want you to be conscious of this. While you're in mist form, you have resistance to damage. You still take damage.
yeah, we also have a 300-foot flying speed.
I'm just making you aware of that.
And specifically from non-magical weapons.
Yeah, if it's a
Still
magical
get fucked up
weapon,
by
you
other
still
things.
get fucked over.
Sorry, I'm all posting in the chat now.
So I just wanted you to make sure you're aware that it's not a case of you could stand in the path of a blade and not get hurt, kind of thing. Because you would know that.
Yeah. But do we have a way of... We're thinking... Sorry. Thrungi, you think lighting the torches will do something?
It'll just
just
allow
like-
us to see better more than anything.
Oh. Fair enough. I don't have any way of lighting anything that's that far away.
Yeah. The first 100 feet of this hallway is now fairly well lit.
I agree.
Could go on for a long way.
And I'll say you can tell now this pathway was... The stonework shows a lot of foot traffic kind of thing. Like, there's almost like pathways that are slightly eroded into the stone just through the weight of passing feet over the years. It was like a major roadway, this corridor.
Are we going to talk or are we going to do something?
I want to solve this puzzle. There's a way to solve it. But it feels like it's much like with trying to open doors. We're just not that good at it.
Don't have to spell magic, or I could try that.
Do I have to spell magic? I don't think so.
I
Faendal
expect
usually has
magic.
it prepared.
I do. I'm not confident enough with the runes around here that if I choose one, it'll work. And I've only really got the ability to do it once. I can try, but
It also,
we may want me to do it later.
yeah.
If it comes to it and we want you to do it later, I do have a potion that can help you regain spell slot, which I really want to give to you. Spell magic, that's the same. But it's up to you. It's up to you. You've proven to be you've been sort of useful, so far.
Look, I'm trying.
You meant to be
I am a priest who can smith things.
Yeah, you're our guide.
Well, we're fucked then.
I'm glad you said it.
Maybe be another way to the other side.
We don't know if this is the right way.
Well, it's 99 point I'm a dwarf % sure that it's going to be trapped.
That's going
I like
down
that
as
as
an
a
episode
title.
title.
99.9. Yeah, alright. Well, we can fart cloud, and it can be like our escape strategy anyway, just in case.
It lasts 8 hours, doesn't it?
It does last quite a long time. And who knows? Maybe while we're going down this corridor, getting battered as gas, we'll think of a great way to solve this trap. We can use it on our way back. If Chris was here, he'd be so disappointed in us.
Okay, Chris is like sitting just on a chair to Sarah's right now and can't hear it because of the headphones. Okay, you turn into clouds of mist. Hordmere is like, what? Are we sure about this?
Nope.
He turns into mist as well. You're all kind of hovering around the entrance.
I
Rambear will
stick
go
my
first.
little mist hand into the through the doorway.
Hand doesn't seem to do anything.
Further in.
As you put more and more of it, once like the majority of yourself steps in, blades start activating, and due to your being hesitant, you're still aware they're there, so I'm giving them disadvantage on this as it swings in.
Okay.
Still a 20 to hit.
God damn. That is.
Low damage though. You are resistant, so it's 7.
Okay.
Thrungi just sprints.
Let's dash.
It activates. It activates. As I say, you're moving quickly, so I'm giving them disadvantage as you fly through these blades. That is a 16, which doesn't hit you, because somehow your AC covers this as well. You barrel roll in between all of these things they're skating through, and then you come into, and you lot can now see as wind form at the back that having fully gone in, the area that is like broken stone and everything starts having pillars of rock just slam down from the ceiling and up from the floor and across and sideways through the room, just slamming across like full, almost like barricading into the side and cracking the rock. Thrungi starts barreling through that because you have 300 feet of movement, I think.
Something like that, yeah. In 6 seconds.
Yeah, 300 feet, which means you can get like all the way down this hallway. You still, as the pillars come in, I need you to make a dexterity save against the pillars.
This is a trap, right?
Yes, and because you have enough light, you can see it ahead of time.
Yeah, it didn't matter. I rolled a 9.
Total.
I rolled a 3 and a 6.
19 points of bludgeoning damage, halved to 9. As your wind form still gets like spun around and slammed sideways into a wall, it like compresses completely and you skirt through carrying on. You feel like you would have probably been like knocked to the floor by that if you weren't a cloud of air. and you spin forward towards the very end. You up ahead, the cracked surface of the rock stops about 40 feet from the end of this corridor. You can just about make out with your dark vision now. And then you see that faint glow you spotted before flash up, and I need you to make a wisdom save for me.
Ooh! Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You feel like a wave of something hit you, but you like steer yourself power forward, and you come to a solid wall of rock, and then in the center 2 rectangular iron doors sealed completely flush to the stone.
Thrungi takes a minute and transforms. Literally right in front of the doors.
Okay, in that case, can you make 10 wisdom saves for me?
I can't go through the door, can I?
Nope. You try, you go up to it, there's just no crack for you to slap through.
19 and 16. Oh, excuse me. 4 and 12.
You immediately become frightened as this room pulses, and you sprint back down the hallway at your full speed, which means you go through the pillars again and through the sides again.
This is not a normal frightened condition.
Are you immune to frightened?
I'm asking the question.
It's a magical frightened effect.
So frightened just means I can't get any closer.
You must use your reaction to move your speed back up the hallway.
So it's not a normal frightened effect.
It's a frightened plus.
Yes, which is what I
I have
asked.
told you what happens.
I was asking because you just said it was a
You
frightened.
need to make a dexterity saving throw as you pass through the rocks,
Enough.
and as the sides swing at you.
20.
20. You successfully avoid the rock pillars, taking 19 half to 9 points of bludgeoning damage as one clips you on the way through, and a blade hits you for 14 half to 7 damage, as you suddenly are back with everyone else. As you were beginning to transform, you suddenly have to run away.
I take a minute and transform.
You transform.
Yeah, we ain't going that way.
What happened?
There's a couple of doors down the end that I can't get through.
You didn't have time to see any switches or anything?
Well, not based on the fact that when I tried to transform, it hit me with something and I ended up back here.
Ah.
That doesn't seem very fair. After we tried to
Okay.
cheat our way through this trap.
So we find.
It's almost
another
like
door.
sometimes having 300 feet of movement speed is also a negative.
Yeah, sometimes. Rarely.
Tell that to the monks.
How far was it in total?
About 200 feet from you.
Uh,
From gateway to doorway.
200 foot.
I will say, while you were, because you did survive a couple of rounds while you were transforming without taking the frightened effect. Roll me a perception check while you were down there as you were looking around the door.
18.
18. You definitely notice that there is a kind of a set rune emblazoned in the kind of top point of the archway of the door that was pulsing and gave you that kind of burst of fear to make you run away or tactically retreat. Sorry. The doors are definitely doors. Like there is a crack down the middle of them. It's not like a sheer piece of iron, but it was just you as mist couldn't pass through it. It was still like an air seal, and a door can be opened. You know that. Not gonna be easy, but a door can be opened. And
Crowbar?
that kind of last 40 feet, there didn't appear to be any kind of blades or slamming things. It seemed to only be
Right.
affected by the room.
Feel the pulse. How close?
About 40 feet from the door. It's almost like it's designed that you get clear with an 18 perception and your knowledge of stonecraft. It's almost like you get clear of the things that are trying to actively kill you, get to something that tries to make you go back through them.
So there is 0 distance between getting through the crushing pillars and hitting this thing.
Correct. But if you can overcome its power, which you did for a while, you can stand there.
Yeah, but we can't. Nobody is going to do that for 10 rounds.
I will say this: it's a wisdom save, and other than you, this party is incredibly good at wisdom saves.
Is the only person who has Dispel Magic any good?
He's a cleric.
I'll tell them everything I know, but I don't know magic.
You make a valid point about the 1 minute, 10 round thing. But I'll let you guys converse at this point. You have the information.
What I know, and I'll tell them that I was being hit by something roughly every couple of seconds. And at some point it forced me to turn back. If you think you can hold it off long enough to open up the doors, feel free, but if you don't, you're coming all the way back. And you'll have to deal with it pulsing at you while you transform and while you try and open the doors.
I don't know how we would open the doors anyway.
Yeah, because we don't know for sure that we can open the doors.
We can try and brute force them, but if they're dwarvish, it's not going to be easy.
I mean, I did say if there was like a clear thing, I would try and dispel magic on it. I just didn't want to waste it on something I thought was wrong. A big rune over a door sounds like a pretty obvious target. Might be useful. I don't know whether it will work permanently. We sometimes build quite resilient things that take a bit more than a single spell, but you know, it's a head start if nothing else.
Can you hold off an attack on your mind for over a minute?
I mean, I feel pretty good standing next to her. And he points at Nyah.
I could try run down the gauntlet on foot and not have to spend a minute stood there.
You could, but you'll be much more susceptible to taking hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a spell that might help me a little bit on that. So at least I'm not getting hit. And I feel quite squishy compared to you lot. So I might use that on myself.
Are quite squishy.
But only if we're going to do it on foot. I'm not going to cast it now for no reason.
What does he have?
Sanctuary.
Oh, I see it, yeah, okay.
It's up to you guys.
Enhanced ability only works on checks, not saving throws, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Resistance.
I suppose we should try. Just because looking for another passage, as you say, Thrungi, before, it might also have the same, like, trap.
Feel free to then. Oh, by the way, Persistent Rage kicks in at level 15.
Right.
So close.
Oh, really? Got another 2 levels.
No, we last level up. Oh, it was like a session ago.
Literally end of last session. Memory of a sieve, that bear. What are you doing, guys?
We have some buffs. Yeah, I have resistance, which I can grant to one person. A 1 turn.
And it's
I
concentration.
can try going, but I don't know if my crowbar and my brute force is going to open the door.
If you can stop the rune from doing shit, I can come and help.
Okay. So I mean, as in like I can distract the rune, or
If this one can stop the room from working, then we can try. We'll have time to make our way through.
I kind of want to try and like do 10 wisdom saving throws, to be honest.
We're gonna have to.
It'll take a lot
I'm
of
assuming
damage.
all of you have stopped being clouds, by the way, because you can't have had this conversation if not.
I assumed that I was the morning.
Yeah.
That's fair. Carry on.
I can try and heal people from here as they head down through the blades
What's the longest range of your spell?
for a little bit. 60 foot for healing word. So not really far.
Wouldn't even get out of the blades.
No, but I can heal that
first
initial
few.
hit after they've taken the entry hit. I mean, I guess. I don't know if I can still hit them if they're moving at 300 feet per round away from me.
If you
Like, how
held,
does the
if you
timing work
held,
on that?
if you held the spell, I'd say as soon as you see someone get hit by a blade, you could release it. At that point,
Okay.
I think that's fair.
if we're there and we need to emergency escape, would we be able to in any way?
I flung Thrungi
Like
right
it-
back.
Back the way we came, isn't it?
Okay. And we've got to get to the other side, so.
Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
My spirit totem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feature.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, I can cast it in wild shape.
Mm-hmm.
Does this help with wisdom? Does this help with wisdom in any way, shape, or form? No, it doesn't really. Okay, ignore me. In theory, I can cast it in Fog Cloud, but in reality, even if I can, it's not useful.
You could not. Oh, yeah. The only actions you can take are the dash action.
Oh
Not in
yeah.
cloud form,
Sorry, I
so
haven't
you
looked at
can't
the
do it.
setting. It doesn't say bonus actions though.
Bonus actions and that instant count as actions. Because otherwise, for example,
Okay.
I think stunned is you can't take actions or reactions. It means you could take a bonus action, which would be weird.
Rules as written. Okay. Alright, ignore me. Let's do it.
So who's doing it? Nyah. Do you need?
Rather let's have a go.
I assume you need
Wait.
me.
Before I leave, I'm gonna lay on hands myself.
Fair enough. Any other preparations
Yeah.
people want to make?
I was going to drink a healing potion.
Carry on.
Yeah, I might healing word myself. Can I healing word myself?
Yeah.
Why not? I'm a creature of my choice.
You are indeed.
Trouble.
So,
For a penny.
Rambear's going down. Hordmir's going down because he does have to spell magic. Nyah's going down. Thrungi is staying.
Thungi is waiting until he gets told the rune's out.
Are you waiting in cloud form or in Thrungi form? Cloud form.
So when they start moving, he will then start turning into a cloud because it will take a minute to go back, won't it?
Gotcha. And Balthazar?
I'll go down. I'm thinking of trying it not in cloud form.
Okay.
See what happens. But before we head off, I will cast Shield of Faith on Hardman.
On Hordmir.
You're
So
going
he has an AC of
out
16 right now. My little scrub. He is going to cast Sanctuary on himself. it may help. So, you all going? Balthazar, you're going on foot, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I will deal with the fast movers first because absolute velocity,
Yep.
and then I'll circle back to you. So the three of you get attacked at disadvantage because of the speed you're moving. The first one against Nyah, because I'm just going through. Whiff. The second one at Rambear is a 28 to hit.
Yeah, that just about hits.
Low damage though. 10 half to 5 because of your missed form. At Hordmere, the trap has to make a wisdom save. With a natural 3, it doesn't do it. You see part of like the axe that he'd previously messed with previously comes swinging for him, and just this protective like dwarvish rune briefly flashes up, and the axe clashes against it, bends and snaps, and just clatters to the floor as part of the trap has been damaged. Second element, you three moving fast, including Hordmere, need to make dexterity saves. I will say, for the sake of ease, everyone is within range of Nyah, and it's a passive aura, so it still happens. But a dex save, please. That's cocked from Hordmere. Not good. Even with Nyah, he's not succeeding. Half to 11. Ooh. You see Hordmere's cloud just get pummeled by two, one coming from above, one coming from below, and it just gets slammed straight in the middle. And if clouds could scream, it would, before he powers through. Nyah, dexterity save?
It was a nat 1, but it's an 8. Just still terrible.
18, half to 9 points of bludgeoning damage. Rambear?
7. No, 8.
23, half to 11 points of bludgeoning damage. Bang, bang. I'm going to handle Balthazar briefly first. Balthazar, how are you doing this?
Before I head off, can I use my bonus action to give myself temporary hit points with my divine
We
Dew?
say you could have done this in the before the gun went off, essentially, yes.
And then I will dash, and key point dash, basically.
So move, action, bonus action for 120 feet, I believe. So, again, I would say that's disadvantage from the blades, because you just power through. There's no kind of hesitance, like, moment to, like, hesitate, essentially. And you are natural 5. You, like, everything you see coming, you kind of, like, jump off, pirouette, like, combat roll underneath, as all of these blades go swinging through. You come up in the crushing pillars. But I've slightly thrown away the initiative element here because the wind walk completely fucks with it. So
Alright.
that's fine. It's fine. We adapt and overcome. So I will need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as you get 20 feet into the crossing. Is that a nat 20?
Nat 20. That is a real bad camera shot of that, but natural 20 for 28.
You're not a high enough rogue to have monk to have evasion yet, are you?
Yeah, that's the next level.
That's a shame. You take 24 halved to 12 for a successful dodge points of bludgeoning damage.
Damn, they still pack a punch.
And like you go tumbling, but like you roll with the thing, land, like you push your legs off the wall that you would have slammed into, roll back and keep your momentum going as it comes to your next turn in a sec. We get to the three of you who got to the other side. I need you all to make a wisdom save as you enter into the range of the Rune of Fear.
Damn.
Hordmere fails.
Of course.
Natural 3 plus 5 is 8, plus Nyah's 3 is 11, is not high enough. And Hordmere barrels down the other way. Has to make a dex save. Succeeds. He is still up despite getting slammed by a piece of rock. And then gets a blade swing at him at disadvantage, which misses before he ends up as a cloud back next to you, Thrungi. Essentially a cloud of blood. He is wrecked. Bear that in mind. Nyah and Rambear, wisdom saves?
Yeah, so with an 11, I'm just gonna follow him and just, you know. I don't mind.
How did you roll an 11?
I will leave him alone, you know?
You have a +9. Oh my god, this plan's going well. Rambear, what did you roll?
So my total is 14,
Including Nyah?
including Nyah.
You both run
What?
away.
It wasn't that one.
This was
I
not
thought
meant to
Thrungi
be
gets, like,
this hard,
5 nat
guys.
20s, and Rambear gets like 3 nat 1s in one session.
Dex
This is very
saves.
upsetting. Because we're pinging back together, do we still get to use Nyah's aura?
Yes, you do.
At least it's all.
Technically, he would have as well, but he made the dex save anyway. Balthazar, you
16.
see these wind things just go whipping past you, and you're like, oh fuck. What were the dex saves? Sorry, Rambear.
16 from
16.
me.
Nyah.
Oh, my dex save, sorry, yeah. Come on, little guys. That is 16.
You each take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, all told, halved and halved again. Blades swing at you. Natural 8 against Nyah for not enough. As they keep missing, they seem to get... Thrungi, you notice this from your end. Every time they seem to miss, they get faster. It's like a hit slows them down to bring them back to a regular pace. If they miss, they just get faster and faster and faster. And against Rambear, natural 6. Ooh. Having missed twice, that's an 18.
On the money?
I've hit on the money with you a lot today.
Yeah, every time.
Uh,
Actually, no, you got a 22 earlier.
5 total
Nice.
points of slashing damage as you are both back. Balthazar!
You're welcome, guys. I slowed it down.
Before it actually gets around to your turn again, because I don't have initiative orders, but things act on initiative, you need to make a dexterity saving throw for me as a rock pillar just comes flying towards your head.
18.
18, success. That's 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
As it claps you on the jaw, but you kind of spin with the momentum, and you spin back round. Clouds have gone the other way. Are you keeping going?
I'm going to keep going.
You keep
I
going.
want to see if I can get to the end.
So you are 20 feet into the pillars. Movement gets you to the edge of the pillars.
Yep.
Okay. So just across the threshold, I need you to make a wisdom save as you enter into the rune's range. As it a wave of magic just pulses into you.
Wisdom save. Hey, it's another natural 20.
Natural 20. You stave it off as you power through. You still got your action and bonus action. What do you want to do? You're 40 feet from the doorway.
Is it lit down here or is it dark? What?
It is dark. It is
Can I
lit
see?
by like a bit of the backlight behind you. You can make out just a bit with dark vision here. You can make out it's a solid wall, the other side, center of 2 rectangular doors, made of what look like heavy-duty iron. basically unmarked, except for the equivalent of handles, essentially, that are kind of so you know, like it's a divot in the wall itself, and then like a bar, such that the bar is flush with the front of the door, kind of thing. Like one of those on each side, and then above it in the door frame is this large blue rune that is like pulsing menacingly, trying to scare the shit out of you.
I'll use a key point to move closer,
Cool,
rather
bonus
than my action.
Oof.
Can I just pull on the doors?
You can indeed. You start pulling. These things are heavy and probably very well locked. They don't budge a second. But having done that, you do like pull on these things a little bit, and there's a little bit of like twist give in them. Not a lot. It's barely noticeable, but with your kind of passive insight perception, that close kind of, it's like a little twitch. Like they're slightly mechanical. Roll me an intelligence check.
16.
16. It's possible the handles themselves form the lock. Like it's a turn dial safe combination.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay. I'll have to wait for the
That
next
is your
round.
action. Everything I need you to make a wisdom save.
17.
17. Staving it off, you're still there. What do you want to try and do? That rune is pulsing ominously. Hordmere did say something about trying to like stop the rune of some kind. That was part of people's plans. I don't know what you want to try and do.
I want to see if I just felt them twitch. I want to see if I can twist these handles.
Okay.
That's all.
Make me a thieves' tools check without any thieves' tools. So straight dexterity.
11.
11. Something stopping you properly twisting them.
Okay. I need
It
something
might
else.
be magic.
Nice if we could dispel that magic, huh?
What do the three of you want to do with a blood cloud that is slowly turning back into a dwarf?
I mean, we should save him, right? Does Thrungi has just turned into a cloud, hasn't he?
Thrungi has not. His plan was to start turning into a cloud when you lot started turning out of cloud. With the hope
I
that
see.
your high wisdom saves would kept you down there, but you
Failed.
failed.
Yeah, we bungled that. He's got health potions. We know this. Rambear's having another crack at this corridor.
Rambear's just going for it.
Yeah, go back again.
Okay!
Why not?
Attack at disadvantage.
Oh, just
Misses. Is Nyah going with? That's an important question because I think Rambear's about to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not being left behind.
Natural 1 against Nyah. You've
Nice.
started to read these things now. Like the pattern, like it is a consistent pattern that these things come out on. It is readable and predictable. You power through. Dex saves.
Oh, now it rolls well. Nat 20.
Dirty 20.
29, half to 14, half to 7 because of your forms. Powering through, like you get clipped at points, but you're starting to like read these as well and like move with the flow and use your wind form to get through the gaps. Wisdom saves.
Come on, baby. 28.
Nat 20.
Boom. Stay still. Suddenly, Balthazar, 2 clouds are next to you, staying there.
Great.
Balthazar, what do you want to do
another
in your turn? Balthazar, you have 10 turns.
Oh, jeez. Is it my turn now?
Yes.
Okay. I need to make another wisdom save, don't I?
Yes.
28.
28. Holding still. It would be even higher now. Nyah's there.
Oh yeah,
That's
Yeah.
great.
31. Sweet.
Orbiting you in like a protective field.
Can I see any sort of deactivation button, switch, lever
Roll
around
investigation.
for other stuff? Which I think is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You can't, and you come to the full realization that you've been here enough. This is meant to be a death trap that is only turned off by someone in the Findal Forge.
Yeah.
It is passable. It hurts you like fuck to do it, but it's designed to not be a simple switch off system. You do with that level of an investigation check notice that there is almost a chain of runes leading off the large rune in the center that leads down into the door itself. And with that check, you can notice that there are very finely carved runes actually in the handles, almost like a combination lock would have the lines and the numbers on it, kind of like that. With that check, you believe that the rune is probably linked to the lock that's keeping these doors locked.
Not much I can do about that, actually. Then I use my guidance to try again with the locks.
You kind of do.
That was even worse.
Thrungi,
5 or like 13.
can you roll perception for me, by the way?
23.
Just before, because you had said that you were going to start transforming into once you saw them transforming out of, but also you've got Horde near here. You just begin to like briefly just check around, make sure that you are in fact alone, and you notice that the broken-in wooden doorway that led to the tombs, that what you theorized led to the tombs, suddenly has light down it. Flickering orange light.
Is it similar to what I saw before?
In a way, yeah.
Thrungi gets that, stops transforming and brings out his axe.
Do you head over?
Slowly and stealthily.
Roll a stealth check.
11.
11. You're not as light as you like. The mud is still there and it makes a sound as you walk over, but nothing seems to react suddenly to your noise. As you head over there and you look down a hallway, it looks like there is flickering light, like firelight, slowly making its way up the corridor. You try to peer through and you can't quite spot what's coming up the corridor yet. Roll perception.
21.
21. Based on your history as a group, the sound you can hear is quite familiar. It is that of bone on stone.
Bone on stone. Bone on stone.
While you're thinking about what you want to do, Balthazar, it's been another round. Please make a wisdom save. As can you two as well, who are currently transforming.
16. Oh wait, 19.
19. You're okay. Transformers?
Transformers. Oh,
Bears
I wish I
in
had real dice for
disguise.
this. 24.
24. You're fine. Nyah, wisdom save.
Oh no.
It's not one.
Bye, Nyah!
It's a 10
No,
total,
my
but
plus
yeah.
3.
I'll be back.
Nyah, make your deck saves.
Because we've been up this corridor a number of times, can it be that she's worked out how to make it sound?
Dirty 20, you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And the swinging blades won't hit you as you come back next to Hordemir. He's kind of thankful that you're next to him, because bleeding badly. Balthazar, what do you want to do? I will say, just because I want to make you know about everything you could potentially do, it is possible to try and do an equivalent dispel magic using an Arcana check. You are a spellcaster. You can attempt to unbind part of this room as part of just a normal check.
Oh, didn't know that. I'll try that.
That's the conditions of this trap. It's not obvious as to how, and we're going back and forth like yo-yos at the minute. So if you want, you can do that.
Just,
you can continue
try
to do
scratching
anything else.
the runes or something, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that.
Cool.
Basic
Make me
option.
an Arcana check.
That is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. You sort of spot the rune up above, tracing it down, mentally fighting off the urge to run. And you bring out your magical blade and follow one of the runes down that leads just to the outside of the door. Not down the center, but to the outside, and you just come down and you just score through a trio of runes. And there's a burst of energy as it comes out. And a few chips of stone hit you in the arm. Nothing major, but it stings a little bit. And you watch the rune dim slightly and then brighten in force. You feel like you've done something right. You also feel like there is counter enchantment set into this trap. That means as people try to disarm it, it gets more vicious.
Yeah.
And you also see that the pillars behind you suddenly start slamming faster and more violently. They might do a bit more damage now.
Okay.
That's the end of that turn. Thrungi, what are you doing? Hordmir is still turning back into human and dwarf form.
Thrungi is staying still. He'll turn back around, and if he sees Nyah,
you see another mist form. It's hard to tell if it's Nyah or not.
Thrungi beckons him over.
Nyah? Thrungi's beckoned you over.
I'll rush over then.
You head over, and in your mist form, you see firelight catching the stonework and coming up this tunnel.
Can you have a dash there and back and see what's coming?
I will go do that.
Cool. You speed down. Roll me a stealth check.
Do I still have disadvantage if I'm in misform?
No. That would be a bit harsh.
19.
19. You stick to the floor nice and low. And you come up and you come down and you get closer and closer to the firelight and you come face to face with about 24 skeletons, dwarfish skeletons, on fire. The skeletons
alive,
have
they're,
combusted.
moving, the skeletons.
Yes, animated skeletons walking up this corridor.
Okay, they're lit. I will.
Sorry. Carry on.
Oh, okay. I will dash back to Thrungi. And I will. Can I try and do the shape of a skeleton on fire as mist?
Make me a performance check. I love this spell.
16.
16. Nyah takes the form of a skeleton.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be about it. Right. More or less than 10. Go really big for more than 10. Go really for less than 10.
I will go really big.
Well, fuck. Thungi's going to walk back to the door and just yell, I hope you're all got that fucking door open soon. We've got over a dozen skeletons coming at us.
You hear that? Rambear. You spend another turn trying to transform. Make a wisdom save. Balthazar, you're up there. Spend another turn trying to make a wisdom save. Yeah, try not to run away.
29.
29. No, you're an angry bear.
15.
And why is
15.
angry bear?
What's the DC of this?
It got higher when you made it angry.
Balthazar,
I have to run, don't
you
I?
have to run.
Fuck.
But you only have to move your movement speed, and considering you are at the door, that actually only puts you on the threshold of the crushing pillars and not in them.
But I can't get any closer.
You cannot.
Yes.
You can use an action on your turn to end a frighten effect.
Oh.
Both as a monk
okay.
and the nature of this ability. So, you know.
Okay. I will stay there and wait.
Um,
Wait, is it my turn? Can I use
no,
the action
that
now?
was your turn to do it. Turning around. They have not accomplished anything. Skeletons continue to get closer. Nyah, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna stay. No, I'll de-transform because they might need me.
Okay, you start trying to go
what's
back to
that?
human form.
Yeah.
Start clock for Nyah. Hordmere is getting closer himself. Back around to Thrungi. You doing anything?
No, I'm just going to... how far is it down the corridor that I can no longer see?
The corridor, the trap corridor.
No. I walk back to where the skeletons are
That's
coming
where the
from.
skeletons come from. You can see the length of your dark vision down that corridor, and then it stops. You can just see beyond that kind of... There is firelight coming up the way.
Okay, Thungi is just going to stay there, waiting for the cleverer people to work out what's happening, and readies his crossbow.
Okay.
And then brings out his second crossbow.
Yep. You get 2 attacks in 1 round, and then none in the second round.
Well, no, because loading properly just means you can't attack twice with the crossbow in a round.
Yes, but the problem at that point, you can get away with it once. Is my point. You can't load 2 crossbows simultaneously. That's just not possible.
No, I agree. My assumption was round 1 I would get 2 attacks. Every round after that I would get a single crossbow.
Yes. The 2 of you there. Balthazar, I assume you use an action to end the frightened effect.
I'll try, yeah.
You just do it. It just happens.
Okay.
And then immediately have to make another save.
No, that's not how that works. And you can use you can move back up if you want.
I'll move back up to the door, yeah.
Cool.
And
Rambear, wisdom save.
Can I use a bonus action quickly
You can use
to
a bonus action, yes.
divine you myself?
Yes, you can.
No nat ones, no nat ones, no Fuck! 15.
Rambear, dex saves, please.
Oh, Rambear still missed, isn't she?
18.
Made the dex save. No.
Yeah, but I didn't make the wisdom save.
7 points of damage. And the scythes miss you. As you are now back, you see Thrungi standing with twin crossbows at another doorway, and Nyah beginning to transform back.
Would I notice Rambear reappear?
No, because you are focused down the corridor.
Rambear's also still missed.
Sporadically,
Although because we're...
I am going to turn around and look to see what's happening, to know what's going on.
Okay.
Because we're flung back, partially transforming.
I would say you can.
Does that mean there's fewer turns?
I would say you can continue transforming at that point. It wouldn't reset the clock because you haven't used your action to move, essentially.
Okay, Thungi and sees though now pretty much everyone is back here, goes, fuck this, and starts sprinting down that tunnel and rages just as he crosses the threshold.
Okay. As you do that, we'll get round to Balthazar another turn as you begin to cross that threshold. Balthazar, wisdom save.
17.
17. You hold off. What do you want to do?
I'm going to hack my sword at these runes.
You jump to the other side of the doorway, trying to spot the other runes down that side. Make an Arcana check for me.
16.
16. Again, you spot these runes. You're like, they look the same as the last times. Bring up the blade, slash through. The rune at the top dims for a second and then glows even brighter. It's now reached the point that Thrungi, you can see the rune down this 200-foot corridor. It's like this bright blue spot down the far end. And the pillars are now just like pistoning non-stop in that corridor. It's got violent and tough, but that's 2 successes. You look at it briefly in that moment and just go, one more, and I think I've got this. And you eye up that rune directly, and you're like, I can make that jump.
I can do that.
Thrungi, you start sprinting down this corridor. You have how much movement?
70 when I dash.
70 when you dash. Cool. So you end your turn still in the blades. It attacks you on initiative count.
Which way is there blades down the tomb tunnel as well?
He didn't go down the tunnel, he was coming down your tunnel. He just went, fuck the skeletons, and went head towards you.
I thought you meant, fuck this, I'm going to go attack the skeletons. That's what I thought you meant.
The initiative count of the blades misses you with an 18, I think misses you. Oh, 18 hits you. Wow, that's shit damage. 8 half to 4 because you're raging. Because you end your turn in the area, it takes another attack at you, which will also hit, but it does less damage when you've ended your turn in there, for 6 half to 3. Pretty bad damage against you. That ends your turn there.
Yeah.
Misty people.
They're still trying to miss.
Continuing to change back, or doing a suicide run again?
We'll stay on this side for a little bit.
Cool, that's another round. Skeletons.
Wait, unless... So if I use an action to move, then I have to reset. Nah.
Yeah, you can't use an action to do anything else while you're doing that.
Mm-mm.
Cool. Yep, Hordman is still transforming. Balthazar. Wisdom save, please. DC's gone up.
19.
Ooh, the one man who can't do... just refuses to run. He's stared down the face of an elder evil in his own head. A rune is nothing. What would you like to do with your action?
I would like to try and take out the big glowy blue rune at the top of the door.
Make me an Arcana check,
That
please.
just means slashing my sword at it or whatnot. That's a 14 plus 1, I think. Yeah, 15.
He's good at this. You just take it, like, you feel it, like, hit your head. You back up, like, about 20 feet into this space, stare at the rune as it hits you, waiting for that pulse to happen, and then just start sprinting. And there's a moment where you are running up the wall, blade in hand, just two-handed overhead, and just crack into the stone. And for a second, there's nothing there. And then, just with an extra bit of will, just... you begin to fall down. You're like... pirouette in the air, land superhero style using slow fall, and all of the runes just seem to cut out. The trap does not stop, but the rune effect, you feel any mental pulsing that's been trying to happen to you go. The frighten is stopped.
Awesome.
Thrungi, you are 70 feet into 100 feet of slashing blades. What do you want to do?
Keep going.
Keeps going. The blades would, just by initiative count, get a chance to hit you. But as I say, you're kind of running out of it and giving them disadvantage. They wouldn't have needed it. They would have missed anyway. You get through into the crushing pillars. Dex save. You see it coming. You have advantage. DC has gone up from the 15 that it was.
19.
19. Just enough. but it's still a shit ton of damage. 8, 11, 12. Actually, not that much because it rolled low. 20, half to 10 because you succeeded, half to 5 because you're raging, because you have taken an attack roll against you in a previous round. 70, 30, gets you 20 feet away from the end of the crushing pillars. So
Okay.
you will have to make another dexterity save at one point through the crushing pillars, but then you're through, essentially.
The pillars were that long. Cool.
60 feet are these crashing pillars. Rambear and Nyah transforming still. These skeletons are fucking slow.
With a Sailor Moon theme, because it's Rambear.
Na, 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 na. I don't know the Sailor Moon theme, sorry. Rambear, you are currently on 7 rounds transforming.
That's why I was just working out.
Nyah's on 3. Balthazar, background to you. Hordmir's also on 7, by the way.
Can I try and open the doors again?
You can certainly try. Make a Thieves' Tools check.
Natural 20 for 23.
Somehow, the goddess of knowledge flows through you. You've never been that au fait with the knowledge side of Teku's domain. You've much more been focused on the life and the water side. That's been where you've dominated and you've diverged into martials, but she's also part of that knowledge, and just something seeps into you, and you grab onto these handles and they just move a little bit now, and you just very slightly depress them in to start turning them, and they just begin to spin, and you just feel the motions. Don't know whether it's your natural instinctive ability to figure out people's thought processes and minds, but it just begins to flow, and you feel the doors give slightly. You can open them if you wish. but you
Can I
don't know what's
push
behind
them? Yeah, fuck it. Push them open. Maybe not
Through a
like
crack.
immediately the full way, just like a little crack to begin with.
it. You peer in. You think there's some light beyond these doors, but also it gives the sense of a massive space behind the doors. Thrungi! Dex save from the crashing pillars before you run away.
Yeah, it's same again.
7 points of bludgeoning damage then. They rolled a 30, but you halve it twice. No, you wouldn't. Your rage would have ended. Because
Why?
You didn't take an attack. It's not you take
So?
damage, you take an attack. You are hit. You are the target of an attack roll.
You're ready early if you were knocked unconscious, or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked a
or
hostile
taking
creature.
damage. I apologise. Then yeah, 7. Sorry, yeah, 7 points of damage. As you run through. Don't know what people are complaining about. There's no fright. Well, like the frightened effect that you previously experienced gone, and you see Balthazar like slowly edging open the door and peering through the cracks. Rambear and Nyah, you were still down that. You wouldn't be able to tell. You wouldn't be able to tell. You would see the blue light go, and that's about it.
If Thrungi sees that, he will absolutely holler back down, saying, "The fucking door's open. Get here now."
You would all hear that. He's a loud enough man. You see. However, I will say this, Rambear. You are perceptive enough to know Hordmir is not in a good state. If he gets hit by anything, he's screwed.
He's a very squishy dwarf.
In fog form, Rambear's gonna like towards Nyah's fog form, and Rambear's gonna continue their transformation alongside the dwarf man. We're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna hang out. This is some bonding time for me and I'm calling him Hogmere. That's not his name, is it?
Nyah, staying by the tomb tunnel, you're conscious that those skeletons are starting to get quite close. They will be in this room maybe a few rounds at best.
I can't fight them if I'm a mist.
You
So
still
I'm
have a
just
number
gonna
of
keep-
rounds before you transform. You're up to 4 out of 10.
If I stay as a mist form, can't do anything. Can they? Yeah, they could damage me if I'm a mist form, but I can't do anything to defend myself. But it's gonna take too long to continue to do.
You've heard Thrungi shout. You could just run.
We've also seen Rambear try and like point with their mist hand.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go. I will listen to them.
Make me a dex save while you're there. Natural 1 on the swinging blades.
17.
17. That does succeed. 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And you power through and you get to the other side where Balthazar partly has a doorway open, peering into the other side. Rambear, what are you doing?
Yeah, not loving this. Because I realised that if I transform, I still have to fight these skeletons.
You still have to get through the...
And then I have to transform back. Yeah. Well, if he's gonna die, I'd rather not be my fault.
Hordmere at this point is seen like he's stuck between a rock and a hard place and is kind of in a cloud form. He's still also trying to transform with you as well. He's like edging towards the trap side, just like he's almost an element of it's potentially worth the risk. Maybe there's more that could possibly be done by going that way than trying to fight whatever's coming, is the insight you get.
Okay. I'm waiting with him.
You're just going to wait there?
Well, yeah, I'm still transforming back.
Okay.
I have to find another way to get through.
On your end of your next turn, you will transform back.
Okay.
Balthazar, Thurungi, what are you doing?
I see through that big door.
Roll perception check. At disadvantage.
I rolled 2 3s,
2 3s.
which is 8 total.
Other than it's a big space, you've got nothing.
Motion at Thrungi. Thrungi, come here.
Thungi lets the rage drop because it's just going to be too much hassle keeping it up, and walks over to have a look through.
You can roll me perception at disadvantage, or you can roll me history.
Flat history.
Yes.
History.
Okay.
For a 15.
That's the DC. bits of repressed memories have started coming back to you. Between going back to your family home and remembering things. This corridor, you were too busy focused on not being killed by it to realise this is the main thoroughfare to what is known as the Smith's Forum. It was the centre of blacksmithing and forging in the city, a huge cavernous space with dozens of anvils and workstations where the dwarves of the city worked the metals. It is a cavernous space.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to see the edges of it. This place is big. But we're on the right path.
I guess
The rest of
gather
them.
everyone and head in.
Nyah as a cloud is with you as well, and is transforming. On to round 6. We jump back to Rambear and Hordmere. This is your last chance to cancel the transformation and sprint for it.
Yep. Just quickly checking, will he transform before Rambear?
I'm saying you're basically acting on the same initiative because we haven't actively rolled it.
Right. Okay. Well, yep, I'm doing it. We're doing it.
You're transforming to standard form, yeah?
Well, form.
Yeah, okay. You complete your transformations. A dwarf and a bear take form. That is the end of your turns. At the end of your turns, the first few skeletons appear in the room. They finally finish their clock. We will do
Cool.
one last round. Well, last couple of things. Nyah, I assume you're still transforming on your turn? Another round for Nyah. Thrungi, Balthazar, what are you doing? Rambear, you can look back, that end of the hallway is lit, and you can see Rambear and Hordmere standing there.
Can I see how injured he is?
He is fucked.
I just yell at Rambear, put him in the fucking bag and get here.
Cool. Skeleton's gonna do anything?
On his turn, he is going to use a second level spell slot to cast Cure Wounds on himself. 9 plus 3 is 12. He's about half hit points now. What do you want to do, Rambear?
Right.
There are...
Cool.
You realise more than the dozen that Thrungi was a low ball estimate on. Skeletons are starting to filter into the room.
Yeah. Rambear's gonna... bonus action, healing word. It's a little guy next to me for just a few more 17 points.
17 total.
Yeah.
That puts him on full.
4th level.
He's
Oh,
on full.
well, fuck this guy. Good for him. He's gonna need it. And Rambear grab him in their arms as they wild shape and run. And we're going with the, well, how wide is the corridor?
25 foot.
Yeah, cool. We're going as an eagle.
A giant eagle.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
Okay. Because your movement speed isn't enough to get fully out of the thing by the side itself, it does get an attack against each of you. Both will hit. 2 natural 18s. For 5 points of damage each. Absolute garbage rolls on damage. Your eagle form is taking it. Like, it clips one of your wings for a second, and like you quickly roll before pivoting back up. He gets hit by a swinging down hammer that comes into his head and just knocks him, but he manages to hold on to your feathers. That's action to transform, movement, Swinging around, the skeletons begin to filter towards you. Do not enter this space. They stay there and begin to disappear. At the top of your turn, I assume you action dash and movement forwards. So another couple of swings from the weapons. That is a miss on you and a hit on Hordmere. Ow. That one hurt him a lot. You are now barrel rolling through the pillars. I need you to make dexterity saves.
What is an eagle's dex? It's 3.
Hordmere fails.
I'm carrying him. He's stuck with my shitty dex roll. Oof, fail.
Do you want to take the hit on him as well?
I don't. Oh yeah, I will. Fuck it.
How many hit points does your eagle have?
Yeah, don't worry about it. You tell me.
It's 32 hit points on Hordmere.
32?
32.
You fucking with me?
I rolled quite well.
Oh my god.
That's
I don't really want to take that, but that's
28.
How many hit points does he even have?
32 by the
He
sheet.
doesn't insta-die because he still had hit points. And it's 33 on you.
Where am I? 33. Oh! Rambear's there. Hanging out. Looking pretty unimpressed, but still holding Hordmere and running.
Hordmere, you like shield him from the fall with your beefy shoulders, barrel roll. Let's say you got the move done of the Eagle 80. 80 would get you to the end of the crush. Yeah. So it hits you, and as you lose your wild form, you tumble into the clear space where the rune was activating, away from the pillars. And holding the dwarf there, who himself is pretty beaten up. And I think we will end the session there. Well, join us next time to find out what happens beyond this trap, and whether these lot decide to take a short rest, maybe. But until then, yeah, see you later. Bye.